Jingles. Let's see. What do we need here, people? What? Sometimes these spreadsheets just do not come in formatted.
Oh, great.
I just got to expand all that. You got to, what is it? You have to go to format cells, wrap text, clickety-clock. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Wait, let me take a look at it. Because I have this problem and I don't know the methodology to get it fixed.
Okay, so you select...
Wait. Let me load it.
Wait. Don't tell me.
Wait. There it is. I don't know why. I mean, I used to... Lost. Remember anything. Let's see. Here we go. Blink. This looks pumped up. Mine's fine.
Oh, okay. Maybe you have a different version or something.
Who
knows?
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let me...
Okay.
Oh, I'm not quite ready.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay.
Do we have a note from Jake Scott?
Let me check. Jake Scott. Jake. Searching. Negative. I can try here for a second. Hold on. Jake. No, that's a big negatory. Also, sometimes eaten with ketchatory.
You chicken. Okay. Lots of requests. What's Scott?
Doobity-doo, doobity-doo.
Need to reboot.
You have to reboot?
No.
No.
The Windows upgrade.
Oh, yeah. I got one. I did it yesterday.
How'd it work out?
Can you hear me?
What?
I
got Jake Scott.
Oh, good. Okay, let's put that in there.
Actually,
bada bing. Okay.
Actually, no, I didn't get Jake Scott. All I got is the PayPal notice for Jake Scott. Take another look.
I have nothing. I got nothing. Yeah.
Jake. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. This way. I got his email. A real one.
Can I roll the fat lady while we're doing our last little bits and bobs here?
Can you hold 1 second?
Yes. I can. Alright, tell the fat lady to wait. Hey, fat lady, I said wait.
Okay, roll the fat lady. I can deal with this.
All right. Is this your strength? Is this your power? Or are you going to give me more boost?
I wasn't planning on it.
Okay, well then let me just boost you here a tad. Give me a quick 10
Testing,
count.
1, 2, 3. I'll give you a read here.
Yeah, a read. Give me a read.
No 333 for me. I'm going down my own path with 444. I'd like a de-douching and jobs karma. My overworked wife.
Yeah, you're
no
perfect.
Jingles.
You're good. You are perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, well, we're professionals here. That's how it works.
Fat lady! Bitch! Valkyrie!
It's the Norwegian show.
All right, everybody, it's that time once again. The time we roll out the bad signal. That means you got to go out and retweet the tweet, boost the toot. We got episode 1276 of the best podcast in the universe coming up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think this will work. I'm very pleased. Don't ask me why. But I am. Okay. 2, 2, 2, check 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, check 2, check 2, check 2, 1, 2. Okay. And let's see. Check
Adam
1, 2,
Curry,
1, 2.
Chelsea Dvorak.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3.
This is Noah Jackson.
Okay. Could use a little more high end. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, down 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, test, 1, 2. I'm actually arranging my ears, believe it or not. Hold on, let me open you up. Where are you? There you are, man. I hear you. You are here. Okay. Okay, he says. Okay. He's okay.
So,
Yes.
I got a couple. I want to do some stuff before we start.
Okay. Are we rehearsing something? Is there a script?
No, I just want to get these things so I don't have to do them during the show and then you moan and groan.
Oh, yes, because I always moan and
You
groan.
do when I tell you to add stuff to the lists.
No, I don't, but okay.
Yeah, you do. Hold on. Shit.
Ah, shit. Hold on. Now you gotta hold on for me.
8. Right on time, too. Okay.
Yes. What do I need to do for you?
Okay, we got a night guy. Brian Boatwright, is he on the list?
Let's see.
We usually catch these before we
No.
send them to air.
No.
Okay, Brian Boatwright will be Sir Brian of Makerville.
Boatbright? I can't understand.
Sorry. It's just crazy. Boatwright.
How do spell it?
Boatright.
Oh, Boatwright. Okay.
Boatwright.
Boatwright. And he becomes...
He will be Sir Brian of Makerville.
Mark Makerville.
Sir Brian.
Yes. Okay. Got it.
Irish dance. We got. Okay, I got this. I can just use that. Vince Dame. Smoking hot wife. Okay, we got a Tiffany Dame. She's going to be a happy birthday on the 9th of September.
Okay, hold on. Tiffany, what's her last name?
Dame.
Tiffany Dame.
Pronounced Dame.
And how old will she be?
He doesn't say.
Okay, September 9th. Yep.
Happy birthday from Vince.
Oh, from Vince. Okay.
Vince.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. That's why I said you'd be complaining bitterly.
No, I'm so enjoying this. I like.
We got $2 due things that we can catch. That's not something I don't think we need to mention. Previous email, boots on the ground. Okay. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay. Do we have anything else for the roundtable from that additional?
No, nobody said anything about roundtable.
Okay. Because that's the problem. Is I don't mind writing stuff down, but staff gets really pissed off if I'm saying, "Oh, I need this shit at the roundtable," halfway through the show.
Well, you're going to get a staff defection.
Staff defections suck. You need penicillin for that.
All right, I guess we can rock it.
Hold on. Okay. I have to close the hatch. Yeah, it sounded so solid, I know.
Hatch.
The hatch is closed.
You got him locked in now.
Knocked in, baby.
Release the gas.
God. Don't say these things. Could be misconstrued. All right. Ready when you are.
Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, September 10th, 2020. This is your award-winning Gable Nation Media Assassination episode 1267.
This
Oops.
is no agenda.
I don't know why I said that, but that's not right. It clearly said
number.
It clearly said 76, and I somehow did it wrong. So I don't know.
Late onset dyslexia.
Give me another hit.
Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, September 10th, 2020. This is your award-winning Gable Nation Media Assassination episode 1276.
This is no agenda.
Brand new ears and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier of Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where there's no sun, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
No sun, but do we have a Zephyr economic report?
Yes, 8 cars.
8 cars?
At normal speed.
8 cars. Normal speed, everybody. That is your Zephyr Economic Index. The guys over at CNBC can start trading away on it. Bitcoin currently 10,357. And all is well in the land.
Well, except for the fact that we have no sun. Yesterday, I had to report on yesterday.
Well, it's smoke, right? It's just smoke and red skies. Is that all you got?
No, yesterday was different.
Okay.
Yesterday, usually the sun comes up around 7:30, I think, around now. Maybe it's around 7:30. And so you get up at 8, and there's a sheet of light that comes in, and it hits, when I go down the stairs, it hits a bookcase, and I can feel, it's silly, but I put my hand on the light thing, and if it's, by feeling the temperature of the light, I can tell how hot it's going to be that day.
Oh.
You put your hand, oh my God, it's going to be a scorcher, or
yeah.
or nothing.
Uh-huh.
Yesterday at 8 o'clock in the morning, it was pitch black. And I'm not saying it was pitch black. It was pitch black. And so I had to get up. I'm getting up and waiting. Why is it dark? And so I'm getting up and I'm thinking, well, this has got to be some sort of a dream because it's pretty bright around 8.
Uh-huh.
And I go down, the whole house is just dark. So I go down and I get up because I got to do the newsletter. And so I'm futzing around, and then I look outside, and it's pitch black out. And then I wait. It's 9 o'clock. It's pitch black. It's 10 o'clock. It's pitch black.
At this point, were you ready to call the authorities?
No, I was ready to turn on the news and see what was going on. I knew what was going on. So I go outside, and outside, if you go outside, there was just barely enough light that you could see kind of an orange glow, but it was dark, and all the lights were on at the horse track and the freeway. Everything was lit up, and it stayed that way till about 1. And it got a little brighter around 1 where you could actually, where you didn't think you were in the dark. But the rest of the day it was dark, and then it was still orangey. It was very orange. It was strange. Today it was just orange, but it wasn't dark. The dark part really freaked everybody out.
Wow.
It was dark. It was just like midnight.
Well, you know what they say.
They're saying that all hell is going to break loose, and you're going to need a Bitcoin.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, I don't have the Bitcoin. So
no, you're in trouble. I got a video from one of our producers who is growing some holy herb up in northern California. I think he's like one of those kind of guys who's got his secret place up there.
Sure, there's plenty.
And from time to time, he sends me a video to show me on the progress of how things are going. And he said, well, I'm going to harvest as much as I can. And it was completely fire. The sky was red. And this was at night. It was nuts.
Well, the Bay Area darkness came from the fact that it was so hot for a couple of days that we got our marine layer came in. Mm-hmm. So we had a dense fog. And then the sky, because we have the Santa Ana winds blowing in the wrong direction and it's swirling, it blew the smoke. And we had a high level of ash in the atmosphere that blocked out the sun. And then the fog didn't help much. And so it was black.
Jeez.
And the ash is this is different. If you remember a couple of years ago, they talked about the ash falling.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go outside and there'd be these chunks of like snowflakes
Yeah.
of ash coming down. It was kind of actually quaint. This is not that. This is
This is scary. It sounds scary to me.
This is a fine powder ash that covered everything, and so we were just in a volcano.
Wow.
And because I'm saying to everyone, there's no ash. I go out to my car, it's covered with this fine dust.
Wow. Well, yeah,
That's thanks. Good work on the fire control practices. Apparently, according to the governor, they spent more money on fire control than they don't do any controlled burns. I don't know what they're talking about. Where are they spending the money?
I don't know. On cleaning up ash. Certainly not cleaning up poop.
Anyways, it's still a little darker than it should be. But
I'm sorry. Did you actually say anyways? Did you actually put an S on your anyway?
I hope not.
I don't want to have to roll it back, but I thought I caught it out anyways. And my ear.
Anyways?
I have to tell you, my hearing is, you got to turn your speakers just down. Caller, please turn your radio down. Yesterday, I went to my audiologist and I got the new Widex Moment hearing aids. I've been.
Brother.
What is this? Oh, brother.
Your
about?
hearing is too acute.
I just wanted to say, the new technology, where are they from? They're Finland, I think, that these guys have put into these hearing aids they have, every digital processor is going to have 4 milliseconds delay. I mean, you're going to have some delay. It's just what it is. Even this rig that I'm talking to has some delay. When you have that in a hearing aid, that delay becomes much more enhanced, and it can sound tinny because you're getting stuff through your pinea, and as well as the amplified sound, and it's 5 milliseconds later. That's what a lot of people complain about. I don't really complain about it because we've done this show with a 50 millisecond delay. Remember I used to do that? And we couldn't get the thing to work right, and I would hear my own voice 50 milliseconds delayed. You probably don't remember
that's
that.
Always a thrill.
We did that quite a while. So they've got this down to nothing. It's 0. It's unbelievable. I'm wearing them underneath the headphones right now, it should not be possible. I'm blown away. I'm also
thing
poor.
Sticking out the back of your ear like before.
No, they got even smaller now. They're rechargeable. I'm poor.
Wait, let me think.
Because these things
broke from buying these.
Yeah.
So when you recharge them, do you have to lay your head down on some sort of a flat thing and it charges
on a mat? Yeah.
On a mat?
You have a special mat for underneath your pillow, and you're basically charging in a coil. No.
Oh, okay.
It's got a cute little box, and just slip the 2 in there, start charging right away. Oh, everyone wants to know. $3,700
each.
No, it's together.
That's a steal.
I mean, it is. Look, I understand they're making application-specific chips and everything. I think you gotta pay good money for the right mattress, the right shoes, glasses. So this is such a big part of my life. I'm so happy with these guys.
You're jacked.
I am jacked. And I saved a friend of mine's life, Vic, who lives in Dallas. He used to be in South Jersey back with the Ponte and all the South Jersey gang.
Yeah, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. That's the music scene. South Jersey is the music scene. And so he heard me talking about this, I guess, on the previous Rogan, and he'd called me up and said, "Hey, man, my kids think I don't care. I'm not attentive." And I said,
Yes, I can't hear anything.
You can slip into loneliness, into isolation, especially men, because they don't realize it's happening. He was using his Apple AirPods. So I said, "Come on down, Vic, stay with me." And he left this morning early. And he had, I don't want these things. It was the stigma, big wires, things hanging off my head. We go and get this guy tested. He's got what they call a ski slope. He hits 500 hertz and boom, it's gone. He's just got almost nothing. Like, how can you hear anything?
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, but he puts his AirPods in and cranks up the iPhone microphone, and that's how he's been living.
That's really cheesy.
Yeah, but people don't realize, and they think, the hearing aids are going to look stupid. And he came in my house. He didn't even know I had him in. He said, "Oh, you don't have them in yet, do you?" I said, "Look, here they are." It was to see this guy all of a sudden say, "Oh, shit, I hear the rain outside.
Well, you should be on the road with these, promoting this.
No, these guys don't give a shit. Like they're billionaires. They don't need me to promote it. They don't even give me free ones. Douchebags. Anyway, I'm very, very happy and jacked about it.
Free ones.
But that, of course, gave me plenty of time with my new hearing yesterday to realize that after my most recent Joe Rogan appearance, I have successfully pissed off Bitcoin bros, ADOS. It's like everybody's bitching at me on social media. The only people who are happy are the Australians, because I said, hey, man, Victoria.
What are they complaining about? It was just by the way, that was nice Jules Verne set. I really enjoyed you being in the Nautilus. That was great.
Yeah. It's very interesting how much... Joe has a different relationship with his audience as we do with our producers. So, I think that after however long, 10 years, whatever he's been doing this podcast, and his man cave kind of got built up. And, let me go through the path, because I think there's a couple things going on here, which he may or may not have to deal with. I don't know. But first we get the Spotify deal. Everyone's like, oh, okay, well, this is great. Congratulations. We hope they're not going to censor anything. And so then he's moving, so now people don't really know what to expect. They haven't been told about what their new living room is going to look like, because they've been used to this old one that they have invested in their own minds.
Well, the other one also had tchotchkes and stuff that I think people sent him.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. It's the man cave. It had tchotchkes. I think the American flag was pretty important. Now, the funny thing is that I don't think anyone realizes this is just a temporary solution. Again, Joe has a different relationship. We would have communicated that. He's building something that's going to be, it's going to blow Don Imus's ranch away. I mean, I know that he's got plans, but everyone just got so angry. And so, but before I get to that, so then the Spotify deal kicks in September 1st, and the episodes go up, and people notice that there's some missing. So immediately we've got conspiracies that Spotify is censoring, and everyone's really confused and what's going on. And then Joe announced my episode. It took 3 hours before it came out. I mean, at one point, I'm even like, bro, is this going to get on the air? Is this actually going to happen? And I think it was technical issues. And then so finally, there it is. And then you get I think that, I know that they did not do they didn't have time. They ran out of time. They didn't do any blocking, any lighting, any testing. That can take days sometimes to get that right, particularly with a color red. You can make red look beautiful, but on camera, it's, even the slightest shadow can make it look extremely flat, and people just flipped out. They flipped out. The YouTube comments were, it wouldn't even matter if I was there. And they were just, I think they were shocked. Like dad moved the kids and didn't tell them what their new home would look like. And I thought that was interesting. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I almost dozed off. Well, you did a great job. I couldn't watch much of it because it was, and I'm not being insulting, but it was obvious to me that I was watching two guys that were hammered.
Well, there's one thing I need to say about that. Now, Joe, I think there was a whole bunch of things going. I talked about it in the last show. He was really overly excited. Not having headphones, I think, made a difference to him. And that was a technical reason we didn't have headphones. Interesting. A lot of people said they didn't like it without headphones. They wanted to see people wearing headphones.
Oh, that's dumb. Anyone who says that's just an idiot.
So I think it was different for Joe not hearing himself or whatever. Something was different about it. But
he was definitely looser.
Yeah.
But he, because with the headphones on, he's less likely to fall off a chair or move himself around so much. I thought that, personally, looking at the way it was shot without headphones, I thought it was dynamite. I thought he looked better without headphones. You looked terrific. You had some sort of a film noir lighting on you that was just almost surreal.
That's just talent. That's just talent.
Yeah, you were lit.
Yes,
I was well lit in 2 ways.
I was
2
lit.
ways you were lit.
I was super lit.
You were lit, but the lighting on you, I don't think it ever be achieved again. That
was beautiful. When you said that, I can't look at myself. I did go look. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. So all of that was psychological.
It looked just beyond like, holy shit, this guy's going to have a swollen head for 3 months now. Because you look like the star of the Hollywood. I mean, it was unbelievable how good you looked. People should go back and just look at the lighting on you. Because I can guarantee to people out there doing this exercise, he doesn't look this good.
Oh, you're such a douche. Now, here's something that was very disturbing. Because I got the on my flip phone, actually, I got the podcast in the car. I was on the way back from shopping. Here's what I can't know for sure, but evidence points to they recorded at 48 kilohertz, and somehow something happened to transcode to 44.1, but we are actually just a tad slower on the pure MP3, and it sounds like I'm slipping and I'm kind of hammered. And if you put it on 1.1 speed, it's like Adam and Joe normally speaking. So it was extra. It was extra crap.
The audio file was screwed up.
Yeah, because we were definitely lit, as you would say, but because of the slowdown, we slurring. So, and I'm tweeting like, speed it up, do 1.2. You got to have that. It's no good. It's no good. Anyway.
Well, I never listened to the audio. I just watched the YouTube.
Right. Well, I had a very.
And people were bitching about that too. They said that because of the frame rate was too high.
Yeah,
so there was too much flicker. That kind of you get from having the. I don't know. I
interlacing. Well, so I did talk to Joe about. He said, Adam, I never read anything. I don't read Twitter. I don't read Instagram. He says, if you read that, it can fuck with your head. And
he's dead right about that.
He is so right. And you look at comments. I mean, of course I'm looking through the comments, because but it's not really about me per se. And like, holy crap, this is polarizing stuff, man. Anyway, the two groups
I ran into, I have to tell this story. There was the story's not as good as if I didn't mention the guy's name, but I can't remember his name. He was a very famous cyberneticist that used to be at Carnegie Mellon. I was actually flew out there to interview him for one of the shows I did.
Mm-hmm. And
before I did, because I didn't know who he was, I should have, but I didn't. And then when I found out who he was, this guy's extremely famous. He's a tenured professor. I should have known who he was. I didn't. He's a computer guy. And so, but in the process of reading about who he was, I started reading comments.
Mm-hmm.
And there were these comments that were just brutalizing the guy. And I think when you're at the real high end of things, and Joe is one of those, you really get brutalized a lot in these comments. And so in the process of interviewing him, I asked him about that, about the people, these comments. He says, that's probably the last thing in the world I'd ever read.
Yeah. No, Joe was very specific. He says, I believe that actually messes with you really bad. So, Adam, don't read him. It's like, well, I got to check a few things.
He's correct.
Now,
unless you want to be combative.
Well, I think that I have quite a shield because all day we're looking at crap stuff. You and I, you get kind of used to it. Like, whatever. Even if it's about yourself. Well, here's what was interesting. So I at one point, Joe was not quite having my Federal Reserve Fed Now talk, but I said, hey, the apocalypse is coming and you're going to need Bitcoin, which of course was a little nod to all of our brothers and sisters of No Agenda Nation.
They're saying that all hell is going to break loose and you're going to need a Bitcoin.
Now, after that, I said, Joe at least won. And I meant him. So immediately, Curry doesn't understand Bitcoin. There's no way everyone in the country could have one. There's only going to be 21 million. It's not going to work out. And so we have that. And I say, well, I don't believe in any of the shit coins. I think Bitcoin's the way to go. And the best part, Anton on top of Anton, whatever, some Bitcoin evangelist who I'm supposed to know, who I don't. Joe says, do you know him? Because he had been on Joe's show a while ago. I said, no, I don't think so. But, I'm basically saying, hey, I think Bitcoin is going to be very important. Oh no. He's not the right guy to lead the revolution. Like, isn't the point that everyone just kind of gets comfortable with using something, and now, I have to be schooled and a professor in Bitcoin to be allowed to talk about it because I'm not intelligent? It's crazy.
You've gotten your goat, this one.
No. The one that was more interesting was ADOS, as I gave a pretty good description of American descendants of slavery. Now, there's what I call the category of Americans, the American descendants of slavery, and then there's the political movement led by Antonio Moore and Yvette, forget her last name. And they're more like a political ADOS. And so those people were doing the same thing. Why is this white boy talking ADOS? That should not be. Two white men cannot talk race.
Yeah.
My goodness.
People are crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy.
And you got a big audience on that show. That's 11 million people minimum.
Yeah, we did pretty good on that.
And that is a lot of nutballs.
Yes. What is it, only 3 more times, and then we'll have successfully stolen his whole audience? Is that what you calculated? Five appearances.
5 appearances, and that's diminishing returns after that.
I had a great time. I can tell you that Joe Rogan is not under any huge cloud, at least not that I've witnessed or that I'm aware of from Spotify. I think you'll be just fine. You'll get used to wherever he's going to be. I'm still very happy to have him here, and I had a lot of fun. And there were some funny moments in the whole thing, but I guarantee you, almost no one has watched it all the way because I dropped a bomb in there, and only 2 people picked up on it. So I don't think people don't watch. I think 45 minutes is probably the max. This one may be less. In general, I just wonder if people listen all the way through to a Rogan thing. I don't think so.
I think commuters, truckers.
Yeah.
Truckers listen to everything all the way through. They do it because they're on the road. And then Sirius FM doesn't do the trick. I mean, I've had plenty of cars with that facility, and it doesn't do the trick. The stuff's on there's not that good. I mean, you can only listen to so much of Elvis. And the talk shows are crummy.
I have Sirius, and only for just so I can listen to the news channels in the car. Anyway, so that was fun, and it did get a lot of positive feedback. So I really appreciate that from everybody. The Australians they're so messed up down under. And we do have to speak with our producers there because people are they're making a lot of the same mistakes we made. Now they're 6 months behind, almost 5-6 months behind on the script, which is identical. The same thing is being rolled out, and they're still blaming politicians, whereas we're ready to uncover the legitimacy or not of the PCR test. We have some good data. And they're kind of closed off, and they feel horrible because they are in some severe lockdown situation that I don't think it's second only to Wuhan when they did their original lockdown, where I think they welded people in their homes. And so when I said, hey, shout out down under, people are hurting there with these lockdowns. People are very appreciative. Oh, someone cares about us down here. Hey, we care about you. And I'm going to give you a few clips here to show you that the signs are telling you've got to think very hard about who you're blaming and what is going on, especially when Dirty Dan Andrews, the premier of Victoria, does this.
Coronavirus in Victoria. That is 63 new cases since my update yesterday. I'm sad to have to report that there have now been 666 Victorians who have lost their life.
I mean, come on. Yeah, you could at least wait an hour and make it 667. You didn't have to do 666 right away. That was just flaunting it, just throwing the devil at him. And then the best part is the age range.
Because of this global pandemic, that's an increase of 5 since yesterday's update. 2 of these deaths occurred prior to yesterday. These include one female in her 80s 3 females in their 90s, 1 female in her 100s, and we send our sincere sympathies and condolences to each of those 5 families. This will be a very difficult time for them.
So that's what they're dealing with. It's the same
100-year-old woman dies
Lock them
of
down.
COVID.
Lock them down.
Oh, let's lock down the country because this old woman died of COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you ever talked to a 100-year-old woman.
I've spoken to the 2,000-year-old man.
The 100-year-old woman, most of them are just looking forward to it.
Well, you're generalizing now. I don't know how many 100-year-old people you know. So here's a bit from this is Paul Murray of Sky News, and I think this is his own podcast, possibly video podcast, because these days you don't know if someone's on TV from home or if they're just doing a podcast.
Yes, everything looks like a cheesy podcast.
You don't really know what's what. He does work for Sky News Australia, and here's what he said.
Daniel Andrews is lying to the people of Victoria, and the media is helping him get away with it. No giant surprise.
And notice how any Murdoch property, whether it's in the United States, Fox News, or Sky, they always feel they're not part of the media. We're not part of the mainstream media, which of course is laughable, but okay.
All last week, I've got a plan. I'll tell you about the plan. I'll release the plan. The other plan's not a real plan. This is the real plan. Here's the deal. These are the key things you need to know about what has been announced. In reality, the curfew will stay in Victoria not for 2 more weeks, but until the end of next month, until October 26. Regional Victoria is still going to be punished until mid-October at the earliest. Bars and cafes maintain being absolutely thumped by this Premier. They will be limited to just 10 people, even if we get to November. And when it comes to the reopening, I'm about to tell you a whole bunch of dates, but it's not really about the dates. It's about the cases.
Can you believe this? I mean, that's just a preliminary. And then it's going to be based on this crazy low number of cases per day.
And the numbers are numbers that you don't just have to hit once, you have to hit for 14 days or for 28 days. Here's the Premier talking about his plan that the media said was so damn amazing. Reality, nothing really changes until maybe October 26. Roll the tape.
I apologise for the circumstances we find ourselves in. I apologise for the reality that we find ourselves in. But we can't change that. We can't simply wish that away. This job, the honour that I have to lead our state, is about making tough calls, but it's also being accountable. And I'm 100% accountable for where we find ourselves, but equally, I'm accountable for getting us to the other side of this.
Now, we should have been able to say, see you next Tuesday, to this virus.
I love that. Did you catch what he's saying here? See you next Tuesday? Those Aussies, man, they'll say anything on TV.
For where we find ourselves, but equally, I'm accountable for getting us to the other side of this.
Now, we should have been able to say, see you next Tuesday, to this virus months ago. But because of the behaviour and the decisions of Andrews and his government, there was a second wave. Hotel quarantine has worked, where there are thousands of people that have come in from overseas. Currently in Sydney, there are 4,500 people. The system didn't work not because the people of Victoria did the wrong thing, but because Daniel Andrews did the wrong thing.
No. This is where, and I'm sure a lot of people watch this guy and they're real happy that he's blaming the Prime Minister. No, your problem is not with the hotel. You think that seriously that you wouldn't be locked down if they hadn't put the idiot Uber drivers in front of these so-called hotels? No, you cannot stop this. It's airborne. By the way, Maurice the dog, the top dog, Maurice the Hund, he has had a paper peer-reviewed and accepted into one of the Elsevier's Dutch medical publications about his aerosol spread.
Huh.
Yeah. It's kind of like you heard it here first. Well, unless you're living in Holland. And the other thing is, we're learning that the tests are crap. The tests are no good. The PCR tests just have too high a false positive rate, And there's crazy stuff going on. Here's a woman in Quebec, a nurse.
I don't know where else to start other than how frustrating is this?
It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating, but also very stressful.
When she first tested positive for COVID-19, Sarah Laurence Côté thought she'd be fine in a couple of weeks. That first test came back May 6th. But as an orderly at this Montreal seniors residence, to be allowed back to work, she needed 2 negative tests. She hasn't been able to get even one. You go back and get tested again and again and again, and every time it comes back positive.
Yeah.
How many times so far?
8 times so far.
Uh-huh. So that's clearly not right. Clearly. And here is finally, we've got a professor.
Yeah, when this, like I've said it before, I'll say it again. When this is said and done, about a year or two from now, the scandals that will emerge are going to be mind-boggling.
Yeah, I think some of that's starting here. This is Carl Hennigan. He is a professor of evidence-based medicine on the PCR test. He's going to explain exactly why it's not working.
When you do a PCR test, you basically amplify the amount of RNA, you put it into a DNA copy, and then you exponentially double that amount of DNA. And that's called the cycle threshold. And the more times you do that, the less virus you start out with. And this is important because you can basically pick up a single copy of RNA in an individual. There is a complete difference between you being infectious, which is about 7 days, from the onset of symptoms to about at day 8, you cannot find infectious people, apart from the few people who end up on ITU who are worsening. We have found RNA shedding in evidence for 78 days because the RNA is only 20 base pairs long and it takes much longer for you to degrade the RNA. So when you're picking up asymptomatic people, you have no idea if they have active infection or did they have it 2 months ago, because you intermittently shed this RNA, and it's the same for all viruses. Now, you can put in a threshold level which says you are infectious, which is about 1 million copies per mil in a sample, which is a cycle threshold of about 25. And if you do that, you can pick up the people who are infectious. But the way we're deploying the test at the moment is in a sort of ragbag way that says, whatever amount of RNA you've got on board, you are positive. And we are going to see this move forward. And we've wrote this about 2 or 3 times in the Spectator and kept moving forward the discussion. But it's now on the radar because there are 25 studies that have now looked at this, and 10 have come in the last 3 weeks. So this idea is becoming more important.
And I think you're right. People are starting to speak up. They're not being, this guy wasn't taken off of YouTube yet, at least. Maybe because he seems to be speaking quite coherently. Doesn't have a crazy name, doesn't go to a nutty church, anything that he can be pulled down for. But this does corroborate exactly what our very own Pope Fauci said back in March about asymptomatic spread.
Yeah. To just add one thing that seems to get lost in that question is that, as Bob said, and I agree, we would really like to see the data, because if there is asymptomatic transmission, it impacts certain policies that you do regarding screening, etc. But the one thing historically people need to realize, that even if there is some asymptomatic transmission, in all the history of respiratory-borne viruses of any type, asymptomatic transmission has never been the driver of outbreaks. The driver of outbreaks is always a symptomatic person. Even if there's a rare asymptomatic person that might transmit, an epidemic is not driven by asymptomatic carriers.
It's too bad we record these things, Tony.
Yeah, we keep them too. Typhoid Mary comes to mind.
Do tell the story of TM.
Typhoid Mary was a woman who was an asymptomatic carrier of typhoid, and she would infect people. It didn't cause an epidemic, but anyone who came in contact with her would get typhoid, and they could never figure out where these typhoid cases were coming from. I believe this was in the 1800s.
Do you think that was just a myth, an urban legend, something they needed to have?
No, it was a fact. I didn't know the person. I wasn't there.
Right.
But there are a lot of accounts, and the term stuck, and it makes some sense. There are people that can. There are diseases today that people carry around, and they show absolutely zero symptoms, but they still have it.
Well, why don't we say this? According to sources familiar with the matter, Typhoid Mary was asymptomatic and spread typhus.
Typhoid.
That's the safe way to report it, man. Come on, you know how to do this.
We had four anonymous sources confirm this, and one anonymous source confirmed the other three anonymous sources.
Of course, you heard in that Australia report, they always say, well, that's because now we have the second wave. You don't have a second wave. It's not a second wave. You're just getting it. It's just starting now, and brace, because it's not going to get any better. Is they're just going to pour more of this bullcrap on you when very old people in elder care are apparently not being isolated properly, not taken care of. In the UK, oh yeah, it's again, we're testing. Watch out, everybody. Shut up. We got to lock down again.
There are growing fears of a coronavirus resurgence in the United Kingdom as the country reports its second consecutive day of almost 3,000 new cases. Woo! 2,948 cases were reported in the past 24 hours against 2,998 the day before. Younger residents have been urged to adhere to social distancing rules as authorities struggle to contain the new outbreak. The UK's weekly rate of new cases has now reached the threshold at which the government has reintroduced restrictions on international travellers.
Case apocalypse. Ends, we know, in Austin, Texas, where we have the University of Texas, where Corona is running rampant because, of course, kids don't care. They got nothing to care about. They're okay. No one's dying. How many?
No one's dying.
Not of the kids.
The way it's
Zero.
reported, half the campus is dead already.
Do you have said report, or is this according to sources familiar with the matter?
I do know that Texas is the nexus of all this, and I don't even know why you're reporting like this because it makes no sense. The national news knows that Texas is horrible.
Well, let's do some local news as we find out that we are going to test you, children. And I think this is the first example. I'm very proud that we can hold up our big foam finger #1 in Texas, because you've got this to look forward to.
Yeah, Tom and Sally, a big concern. Good morning. The university plans to make sure every student that attends Saturday's game is free of COVID-19. They're doing this by making sure that those who are attending as part of the big ticket student game package take a COVID-19 test tomorrow. The test is free but mandatory. Only students who show proof of their negative COVID-19 test results will be given a ticket for Saturday's game. But thousands of alumni will also be attending, and Interim Austin Health Authority Dr. Mark Escott worries as many as 50 people could catch the virus at Saturday's game.
Our gathering limit's 10, and having 25,000 people in one space is a concern. So ultimately, people have to make a decision whether or not they're going to go to the game. I will be watching on my TV.
Dr. Escott says he worries the most about the increased risk of transmission in lines for the bathroom and concession stands. Now, keep in mind, UT did eliminate tailgating for this season, and they also plan to provide over 200 hand sanitizing kiosks, as well as enforcing masks for everyone who attends the game.
25,000 will be tested. Can't go into the game. Can't go to the movie theater. Can't go anywhere.
I think these tests are rape.
Rape?
Yeah. I'm thinking about this.
Okay.
Because every time I see this, I cringe because they show it on television way too much. They have somebody with this big, long swab thing. The thing's a mile long. And there's some evil-looking person with a mask on, like a rapist might wear a mask.
It's a violation, sure.
It's a violation.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not trivializing rape.
No, I know you're not.
I'm taking it to this other level, symbolic rape. And you stick this thing in their nose, and then they don't like it. a lot of people kind of back off and their eyes close and they squirm and then they stick it in further and further and they twist it and then they pull it out. It's disgusting. And they keep showing it on television. It's rape.
Yeah, it's definitely very invasive and it's me. You know what's, I was talking to my sister.
Who would like doing this is the question I ask.
Here's what I'm concerned about. I was talking with my sister-in-law. You met Tony at the wedding.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Tony. Actually, she calls me. She called me the day after the Rogan thing. She's like, I wanted Joe to be quiet. I want you to tell me about the Federal Reserve. I said, okay. I'll send a few YouTube videos your way. But we were talking. She says, something really weird going on with the COVID. Said, people who have had it, and she's a very social person. She talks to the neighbors, and she's got all her little communities. People who have had it are all like, don't tell anyone that I had it. And even worse, they're ashamed that they're going to get a test. Don't tell anyone I got tested. It's like you have the plague. This is concerning to me.
That's interesting.
I was surprised. Oh yeah, it's everyone's like that. And one neighbor leaned into her when they were talking on the street. Whatever. Said, by the way, Mary's daughter over there, she had the COVID. I mean, that's like seriously, it's like they had the plague. And it's just Indiana, not necessarily left, media type influence, but it's for real. This is affecting people to that degree. It's disturbing.
Huh.
Like they have some real horrible disease, which of course people think it is the way it's being presented. We have given up on all this. We've given up on combating. It's just cases. No, it's just reported as if we're all dying. So get out there.
Well, I'll be happy when this blows over.
Yeah. Now I have a... Actually, do you think it ever will truly blow over? I mean,
yes, it will.
I mean, forget the November 4th date. And I've got to think that... Well, I got a great note here from our official No Agenda pharmacist, who is throughout the almost past half year has been giving us all kinds of information about treatments, etc. And the big news came out that AstraZeneca has halted its vaccine trial because someone had some severe side effect. So the first thing I'd like to say is that this news came only a day or two after the president once again said, well, we might even have a vaccine before the election. Now, I think the president at this point also knows if he says that, we ain't going to have no vaccine. I think he's aware that is always going to be the effect. He may be
opposite man.
Yes, he's opposite man. Maybe he's trying to push towards great distrust of any vaccine. And my goodness, Kamala Harris is out there saying, well, I won't trust any vaccine the president thinks is good. Which, of course, played right into him saying, what is wrong with that lady? So here is the AstraZeneca pausing their trial, which our pharmacist says, and the New York Times, and let's just look at the actual reporting, because, the New York Times reported on this, quote, a person familiar with the situation who spoke on the condition of anonymity said that the participant who experienced the suspected adverse reaction had been enrolled in a phase 2/3 trial based in the United Kingdom. The individual also said that a volunteer in the United Kingdom trial had received a diagnosis of transverse myelitis, an inflammatory syndrome that affects the spinal cord and is often sparked by viral infections. However, the timing of this diagnosis, whether it was directly linked to AstraZeneca's vaccine, is still unknown. So,
myelitis.
So again, it's according to sources. This is not even official. We don't even know if this is what the deal is, except they've paused it. And so he actually wrote up a document, and I've put this into the show notes per his request, so you can understand why he thinks that this doesn't make much sense. But it is the AstraZeneca. We've got a lot of vaccines that are popping up, and maybe the president is trying to knock them off one by one, so that really ours, the Moderna, will be the one. And of course, we have Russia out there saying that they have their Sputnik moment, and right on cue,
4 more countries have agreed to run late-stage clinical tests of coronavirus vaccine candidates from China National Biotech Group and Sinovac Biotech as China steps up its efforts in the global race. Serbia and Pakistan are among the new countries agreeing to phase 3 trials. The two companies are seeking more data overseas as new cases dwindle in China. CNBG's Vice President Zhang Yuntao said its phase 3 trials are expected to involve 50,000 people in about 10 countries. He added that foreign countries have expressed interest in ordering a combined 500 million doses of its vaccine. Trials have already begun in the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Peru, Morocco, Argentina, and Jordan. CNBG is expected to be able to produce 300 million doses of vaccine a year once it upgrades its manufacturing techniques. And Zhang says it is working on a plan to raise its annual capacity to 1 billion doses. Sinovac's vaccine candidate, Coronavac, is currently being tested in Brazil and Indonesia. It has also obtained approvals from 2 other countries for phase 3 trials. That's according to their senior director of global strategy, Helen Yang, who declined to name the countries as the information is still confidential. China has already authorized the vaccine candidates from Sinovac and CNBG for emergency use in high-risk groups such as medical workers, despite the final stage of trials still being underway.
Now, that is a report from Epoch Times, so take that with a grain of salt. You need to. They really hate China.
Well, I disagree with that comment.
Oh, really?
I don't take the Epoch Times with a grain of salt to the extent that they're... I realize that they're slanted and they're anti-Chinese, but their reporting is quite good.
Doesn't that still mean the way it's presented can be taken with a grain of salt? I didn't say douse it. I said a grain. Just a grain.
No, you would know what you said. You take it with a grain of salt. It technically means that it's worth just a grain of salt is worthless.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought a grain of salt meant it's just
a grain of salt is not a lot of salt.
But you take it, yes, with a grain of salt.
Take it with. Do you take it with a grain of salt, or you take it as a grain of salt?
Take it with. Now we have to know.
This is what we do on this show.
This is quite important, so we need to.
Consult the book of knowledge.
Okay, take something with a grain or pinch of salt. Regarding something as exaggerated, believe only part of something. So that isn't that fair to say that they might exaggerate or overemphasize?
I don't think they exaggerate.
Okay, well then from now on, I'll just say John's favorite Chinese outlet, Epoch Times.
Favorite Chinese haters.
Well,
they're haters
from your favorite publication, your favorite media company. Comes the desperate cry, the desperate cry from the millions of people who have been locked down for the past 45 days in, what the heck is the name of this city? This is, shoot. I can't remember where it is. Oh, it's probably in the report.
The same tragic story that happened in Wuhan 6 months ago is now occurring again in the Xinjiang region, as thousands of residents in high-rise buildings shouted and screamed into the night in despair. Xinjiang's capital Urumqi has been under strict lockdown for nearly 40 days, after authorities announced a resurgence of the CCP virus on July 16th. An Urumqi resident recorded the heartbreaking scene of people living in surrounding buildings, screaming together to vent their frustration. It is clearly audible that the videographer himself was sobbing when filming.
Do you think,
I think
that's exaggerated?
Straight up, no. I think adding that cry at the end and calling it the CCP virus that's good reporting.
Okay, the CCP virus. I agree. That's an exaggeration.
How about the crying at the end, though? That's pretty good.
Well, that was supposedly the videographer, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You win. Take it with a grain of salt.
Not edited at all.
Take it with a grain of salt. But I will say that I don't know anyone else is reporting that, and I kind of believe it's probably happening.
Hey, I'm bringing the clips. You know, I'm thinking it's interesting enough to look at.
I don't have the clips, and I'm the big promoter of this operation.
What I'm saying. Hey, man, we need to open your books. What are you doing with those guys?
Open my books.
But right on cue, it's all happening. Yeah, we're moving it from coronavirus to the Green New Deal, because never before have we seen such horrible disparities between the genders and colors and the United Nations. Yeah, I'm going to play this. Let me see. They tweeted, the United Nations Twitter account tweeted the following: the hashtag COVID-19 pandemic is demonstrating what we all know. Do you want to venture as to what we all know?
Well, it's probably something that we brought up on the show before they figured it out, which is that COVID-19 is a function of the global warming.
It's even better.
Ooh.
The COVID-19 pandemic is demonstrating what we all know, millennia of patriarchy have resulted in a male-dominated world with a male-dominated culture which damages everyone. Women, men, girls, and boys. Signed, Antonio Guterres.
What?
Yeah, here's a bit of...
This came out of... Are you kidding me? This came out of the UN?
It's on the Twitter, man. Here's the audio. He didn't... That was what they tweeted. Here's a snippet, about a minute 30 of what he said. And this is the Secretary General of the United Nations.
The COVID-19 pandemic has, in the past 6 months, turned our world upside down. Beyond the virus itself, the response has had a disproportionate and devastating social and economic impact on women and girls. COVID-19 is deepening existing inequalities, including gender inequality. Already we are seeing a reversal in decades of limited and fragile progress on gender equality and women's rights. And without a concerted response, we risk losing a generation or more of gains. Since the start, women have been on the front lines of the response as healthcare workers, teachers, essential staff, and as carers in their families and communities. Between 70 and 90% of healthcare workers are women, but their salaries and conditions often fail to reflect the life-saving roles they occupy. Personal protective equipment is often made to fit a standard man, which means women care workers may be at greater risk of infection, and fewer than 30% of decision-making roles in the health sector are occupied by women.
You know, I had not heard this. I haven't heard a single woman anywhere complain. Maybe I just haven't been listening right. But the PPE, the personal protective equipment, is too big for women?
Yes, for a standard man.
Standard man. What is that?
A standard man, like a standard poodle? Is that what you're talking about?
What is
a standard man?
I think once again we need to go take a look at the... is there such a thing as the standard man? We look at the Book of Knowledge, and, we have pretty much standard person. Here we go. There is a Wikipedia entry for standard person. Let's see if we qualify. The standard person is a theoretical individual that has perfectly normal characteristics. This model is used for much research. Oh, okay. The reference woman, the reference child, the reference man, it is part of the International Commission of Radiological Protection's 1974 definition. Ready?
Yeah.
Standard man or reference man is defined as being between 20 and 30 years of age. So we are way above
We're
standard.
out of it.
We're way above
We're not standard. We're
way
above standard. We've always been beyond standard.
Average weight of the standard man. You want to take a guess?
145.
Ooh, yeah, it's a 70 kilograms. So I'd say that's about spot on, 145.
It's a little higher.
Okay,
2.2,
we
144,
go
144.
No,
145.
70 kilograms in pounds is 154. You're right, it's a little higher.
Okay,
154. Average height. Average height. Well,
Can I guess again?
Sure.
5'9".
Okay, hold on. I'm going to do the conversion. Centimeters.
The conversion should be there.
Inches. No,
they're just disrespecting Americans by leaving it out. It's a wiki.
So 100
I'm not using an A4 paper anytime soon either.
So the standard height of standard man is 5'6".
5'6".
Yeah.
Well, the average height of an American woman is 5'4", I believe. So it's not that far off. So this standard man's garments should be able to fit if a woman is 5'4". It's just so this guy's full of crap, this guitarist character.
By the way, if I can continue the official definition, just so we're really clear on this. So you are 20 to 30 years of age, weigh 70 kilograms, 170 centimeters in height, and you live in a climate with an average temperature of 10 to 20 degrees centigrade. Also, standard man is Caucasian and Western European or North American in habitat and custom. So, oops. How racist is that, Wikipedia?
Yeah,
I don't think
standard man.
People have not looked at the standard man in a long time. So, standard man, but somehow women are getting screwed.
70 to 90% of healthcare workers doing the work. Only 30% in decision-making role. Now the pandemic has exposed the extent of this impact on physical and mental health, education, and labor force participation. There are also disturbing reports from around the world.
By the way, let's just back that up for a second. What he says, the pandemic has exposed, not caused, but exposed.
The pandemic has exposed the extent of this impact on physical and mental health, education, and labor force participation.
What is he saying? Is he saying that this has exposed that
Wait a minute, hold on.
This is crazy.
So the logic here is that the virus has exposed the fact that we shut down the economy?
That's either he's saying that or he's saying women just get beat up and are traumatized all the time by the patriarchy. I'm not sure. We'll roll it back a little bit.
This guy's trying to get laid.
Work, but only 30% in decision-making role. Now the pandemic has exposed the extent of this impact on physical and mental health, education, and labor force participation. There are also disturbing reports from around the world of skyrocketing levels of gender-based violence, as many women are effectively confined with their abusers while resources and support services are redirected. In short, the pandemic is exposing and exacerbating the considerable hurdles women face in achieving their rights and fulfilling their potential.
Gross. It's just gross. Again, the tweet. The COVID-19 pandemic is demonstrating what we all know. Millennia of patriarchy.
And the words, what we all know, you're reading this per se. It says what we all know.
Yes. I'm reading it verbatim. Yes. This is a quote.
Verbatim. I'm sorry, not per se. Verbatim.
Verbatim. One more time. The hashtag COVID-19 pandemic is demonstrating what we all know, : millennia of patriarchy have resulted, that's his problem, in a male-dominated world with a male-dominated culture which damages everyone. Women, men,
take
girls,
a screenshot
and boys.
Of this gem.
Yeah, I think I'm going to...
This is unbelievable that they would do this.
I'm going to throw this into the troll room so
how
the
is
trolls
this
can grab
objective in any way? This UN has got to go. It stinks.
Yeah, and then they actually have a link to this is the time to rebuild more equal, inclusive, and resilient societies, which brings us to the way in which this is going to be done. It is a global system. We are all a part of it. That is, if you are the Biden-Harris ticket, let's go to Dr. Tedros, the man leading the fight against the COVID-19 coronavirus from the World Health Organization. What could he have on his mind?
This will not be the last pandemic.
Thank you.
History teaches us that outbreaks and pandemics are a fact of life.
Okay.
But when the next pandemic comes, the world must be ready, more ready than it was this time. In recent years, many countries have made enormous advances in medicine, but too many have neglected their basic public health systems, which are the foundation for responding to infectious disease outbreaks. Part of every country's commitment to build back better must therefore be to invest in public health.
Yeah, no, it's better than that. Part of every country's
commitment to build back better must therefore be to invest in public health.
So for the Roganites who are tuning in for the first time, there's your proof of what I was talking about. The Kamala Harris, Joe Biden slogan is build back better. This is the idea. You're going to mind control every country's population that, okay, we're going to build back better. And of course, John, your prediction, of course, with a warming climate, that makes many more viruses just jump up on you, and we're going to have pandemics all over the place. But if we build back better with solar and wind, and Bill Gates' nuclear energy to pick up the slack, build back better, it will be a beautiful thing. Even the World Bank thinks this when it comes to Lebanon.
You've talked about the need for credible reforms in Lebanon. What sort of reforms are you talking about, and can this government be trusted to implement them?
Yes. Electricity reform, absolutely fundamental. The reform of the water sector, the reform of the connectivity sector, every single reform that allows the Lebanese citizen to get to another level of normal life. All this is absolutely fundamental, and all this would need one thing: transparency, governance, efficacy. Lebanon needs to build back better.
Come on! Lebanon needs to build back better. What is going on? Why are we the only people, and excluding one Breitbart article, who are noticing this obvious trend?
It's an internationalist code.
It's not just
it's
code.
It's internationalist code.
It's not just code. It's on.
Code.
There are a lot of people. Okay, it's not hard to break, though. It's right on the lectern for Joe Biden. Build back better.
He's an internationalist. They want to turn the whole country. They are anti-American.
Certainly, yes. Well, certainly anti.
Well, I mean, they're pro-American, but they're anti borders, cultures. No borders, no people, no
less people,
no people,
everything
no
free. What? Yeah,
socialism. But this is an international movement, and Biden's part of it. And I don't even know that Biden knows this. He's so dumb.
I was going to say, if you're saying Biden's part of it. Yeah, sign here,
Joe. Biden's people are part of it, and the slogan was handed to him. He didn't dream this up.
No,
somebody came up with it.
Of course he didn't.
One of his people, one of the high-end people came up with it. Kamala probably knows what's going on.
Maybe. Maybe.
Well,
Maybe.
There's a million jokes there. I'm not going to any of them. I've already got myself in enough trouble for this show.
All right. So maybe we just go straight into just a little bit of China, since we're already bitching about them. Because, of course, they're completely responsible for everything. We got several notes based upon your request about the Huawei backdoors. As we have also, as far as I know, still not really reported anywhere that the Kosovo-Serbia harmonization agreement is pretty much centered around putting a big broomstick up China's butthole by chopping off their rail project. So we're going to finance that now, maybe with the EU, maybe not. But we are a signatory to the signatory that they are to themselves. So, and it says in the agreement, we're going to help you out. We're going to help extend this railway to the port. That was always China. The Belt and Road is a port and railroad plan. Includes the 5G digital highway, Huawei, which they both agreed to in their agreement. They will remove it if they have it, and will reject it if the 5G provider is on the verboten list. And there's good reason for it. So here we go. This was research on Huawei devices conducted by MIT's Lincoln Laboratory. 1. Huawei does not acknowledge NIST as an authority and thus will not acknowledge FISMA, or OMB M16. I have no idea what these standards are, but I'm sure they're important. A requirement for doing business with government entities or infrastructure. There you go. They do not demonstrate a concern for exploits or vulnerability or take a proactive position. Huawei has multi-hard-coded embedded super user accounts within the chipsets, which Huawei disputes can be used for espionage. They don't dispute they're there, but they dispute they can be used for espionage. They dispute the usage. Yes.
We know that's there, but we're not going to use it. We're not going to use it.
We're not going to use it. As a couple more points in there, but I think that's the most obvious one. And Huawei has engaged in cyber espionage through the Elemental Supermicrocomputer Inc. They had contracted source servers to Amazon. Remember that? That was a while ago. A microscopic chip was discovered with backdoor capabilities.
That may have been bullshit.
Maybe, but this is MIT, and their report clearly says no. And Huawei is trying to do some pathetic thing by saying, well, we have a better app system than Google anyway, since we can't use it, so we're just going to roll that out. It's a little tit for tat everywhere. And what did I have here on the Chiners? Did I have anything? We had the Epoch Times. Yeah, I've been carrying these clips for a week and a half. This is Ambassador Sam Brownback, our Ambassador Sam Brownback, talking about the religious situation, how China continues to suppress religion.
And they are after all faiths. It's a war that the kingdom of man has tried to win for millennia, and they're not going to win this one, and they haven't won it in the past. And I think you can just look at all the evidence. You can look at what China did to the Tibetan Buddhists, and the persecution and keeping the Dalai Lama out of the country, and now even declaring that they get to appoint the next Dalai Lama, the Chinese Communist Party. You can look at Xinjiang, which is probably the most egregious religious persecution taking place in the world today. 1 million Muslim Uyghurs in concentration camps. And then if you get out of those, you're in this police state of a virtual prison by all the cameras and the facial recognition systems and the limitations on you. The destruction of the house church, the desire to control the Catholic Church, the persecution of Falun Gong, the credible reporting now of taking place of organ harvesting, and then top it all off with Hong Kong, that's supposed to be two systems, one country, being merged into one system, one country, and the system is what Beijing is saying. This is just across the board. It's everywhere. It has gone more nationalistic, and instead it used to be more at a provincial level, and it's gone harsher under Xi Jinping. His main implementer is Chen Quanguo. He's the party chair over Xinjiang. He put down the Buddhists. He's putting down the Muslims now, and the United States recently sanctioned him with global Magnitsky sanctions.
Stuff you don't really hear about.
No, you never hear any of what you just played. Did he say Oregon harvesting?
Oregon harvesting.
He didn't say Oregon harvesting?
No, because we'd give him Portland for free. No, it's Oregon harvesting. And he did follow up what the current administration is doing against this suppression.
You're seeing the Trump administration go hammer and tong at these human rights abuses, and particularly religious.
Hammer and tong, since we're looking stuff up. Hammer and tongs? Hammer and Tong?
Hammer and Tong.
Is that a
It's like Joe
metal?
Biden shooting from the shoulder.
Hammer and Tong. Hammer and Tongs. Energetically, enthusiastically, or with great vehemence. Okay.
At these human rights abuses, and particularly religious freedom abuses that are taking place in Western China. We are going at the companies that are then used in the forced labor that is being forced by the Chinese Communist Party. We are going at the entities that their technology is being used to observe and to oppress people. We really see the future of oppression being fewer people in concentration camps and more people controlled in a society with 24-hour surveillance systems on people and limiting what they can do in that society. So we're going at those technology companies, we're going at the production companies, we're going at the individuals, and we are serious about this, that this is wrong what China is doing. They seek to be a global leader, and yet they're leading the world in persecution. The global leadership is in persecution. That's not the kind of leadership that the world wants, and the world needs to see this. And we're putting a big light on it.
Yeah, except the only place anyone heard you say it was here.
No agenda
haven't
show.
Seen Ambassador Sam.
Good job with the lighting.
Sam Brown. Haven't seen the ambassador around much. So I do like that they're pushing. Obviously, you're not going to get much support for pushing back on China in the actual media in the United States. And if I may, walk onto dangerous turf, since it is quite well known that I am not the sports person. I have gotten a little bit fascinated by basketball, and it was after Sunday's show. I flipped on ESPN. There was a game, a Big Ten game. Is it the Big Ten? No, it's the playoffs. What do we have? Is this the Super Bowl yet for basketball?
You were probably watching one of the NBA playoff games.
Yes, playoff game. Which now, okay, here's what I know about sports. The placement of any logo. By the way,
before you go on with that, the thing that's interesting is there's one or two people that seem to have there's a lot of blood relations, I guess, in the NBA, because I don't know how many brothers there are in this Vogt family, but there are so many guys named Vogt playing in the NBA. It's just like, why? Are they doing genetic engineering with these Vogt people?
I think the funniest is they've named all white guys Ally. It's very odd. So I know that the cost of placing a logo on a uniform on the court, in the stands, the banners, that is real money, and that's big money. And all I saw was United in Black streaming everywhere. So it's not just Black Lives Matter. We are united in black. This is the Miami Heat slogan, apparently. They are selling United in Black apparel, which, of course, all proceeds go to Black Lives Matter, I presume. This has to be compensated. It's on the shirts, it's on the front of the shirts, it's on the back of the shirts, it's on the refs' pockets, it's in the stands. This has to be a Chinese Communist Party paid promotion to mess with our heads. It makes
what they're up to.
The Disney logo that's on the court. The Disney logo on the court is puny compared to all this Unite. And who wants to hear it right now? The ratings are in the toilet.
People, I'll just say this and I am a sports fan, and I do know about these things, even though I was unfamiliar with the Vogt family. I know sports fans. I like sports myself. I like everything. It's an escapist mechanism. People use it to escape.
Yes.
You can argue with your buddy who's just on the opposite side of the political spectrum, and you can argue and have conversations about the current status of the Warriors, for example, or how the football season's going to go. And you can do all these things without, and you get the rivalries are there, but they're not life and death, and it's silly at some level. In fact, it's silly at all levels. It's very silly, but it's a way of escaping. It's escapism. To bring politics into it is a great way to kill it. These people, you see these guys tweeting, I'm not going to watch these games anymore. I go to watch sports to see the sports. I don't care about having to vote or do all these different things because these guys are going to lecture me about politics.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
And the ratings show it in what's actually a sports coverage void. Their ratings are in the toilet, but they're down 35%.
Not with NASCAR.
Well, hold on. I am very happy this is happening to the NBA because this means it's perfect time for soccer to make its move.
You know, that you mentioned that, I don't want to bring this. You mentioned it in jest. I'm actually concerned about this because I've always been fearful that the whole COVID thing and everything is, to get us back into a global idea. Yeah, we're all one nation, one globe. We're all part of no borders.
Football. Yeah.
We want to all have the sport that is an international sport. Mm-hmm. Cricket could make a run at it. Baseball could, no.
Cricket.
Soccer.
Cricket is 3-day games. No.
Soccer that is the universal all, there's no politics in soccer so much. And now that they're introducing it, they may be killing it. But yeah, I've been fearful of this because soccer is the dullest of all these sports in terms of watchability, the rest of it. I've been
I'm sorry.
Stadium in Rio de Janeiro to see the best players in the world.
I'm going to disagree. Here's where you're wrong. It used to be, but compared to Unite in Black, Ally, Vote people, no, soccer is as a breath of fresh air. So
I'm very, very fearful.
Good news is that people are tuning out from this. They're not taking it anymore, and I think that's good. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in BTC, John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, all ships, sea boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, all the dames and nights out there.
In the morning to our trolls in the troll room. Let us get a count, everybody. LC, boom. What do we got? Trolls up. 1432. Wow. That's pretty good.
Down 100.
Down 68, really. 68.
Oh, wait. This is a Thursday, though, right?
No, Thursdays are usually...
17.
I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Thursdays are lower.
Yeah, you're slacking, though, people. Get your trolls. When you wake up from under the bridge, you got to bring them to the show. You got to have them all logged in. We do say in the morning to them, our trolls are. I mean, if you want trolls, you might as well just have them and put them in a bridge here that we've got. It's the troll room. We even have some new trolls apparently in the morning. New trolls. You're going to have a good time here. NoAgendaStream.com where you can listen to this show live. Many shows that we do live. Dvorak Horowitz is on Tuesdays. Nick the Rat is on Wednesdays. Darren O'Neill does the rock and roll pre-stream. There's tons of stuff. Tons. And while you're in there, hit up Doug for an invite to NoAgendaSocial.com, which is our federated social network, which has no algos, no deplatforming, no shadow banning, and it's federated. So it works all around the world except with people who hate us, which is kind of good. We don't need, if you hate us, then don't listen to us. This is perfect. And I'd like to thank the artist for the artwork brought to us on episode 1275. The title of that was Hypocrite Oath. Oddly enough, some people did feel necessary to reach out to me and say it's Hippocratic.
Oh, please.
Yes.
Put them on a list, those people.
Not on the list because he's exceptional today is Sir Net Ned, who brought us the artwork. It was his depiction of the Amazon delivery driver's cell phones hanging in a tree. Interestingly, they were hanging by what looked like nooses. So I'm surprised we were not.
I didn't notice that.
I'm surprised we were not deplatformed over that.
I just see that now. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I didn't think about that. That was sketchy. Okay, well, we still would have picked it.
Was there anything we needed to discuss? Yeah, we would have. Regarding the art, was there... Because you often will say, I got to mention this, but what was it?
Well, there was nothing really good. There is a couple of things cropping up, though, in the new artists coming on board that I want to mention. I want to stop it. I mean, I'm going to have to do just as though... And by the way, the mission statement is complete. I'll send it over to you this week. Good. But I think now I'm going to have to do an art, which should be posted on the art site, some tips.
Handy tips.
Tips like, don't use our faces in the art.
Yeah,
we did that for the first couple years, and we banned it. So if you're going to put our face in the art, and I'm talking to artists like Superba Frango, who's got 2 pieces in with our... that is just immediately eliminated. Under all circumstances, there's no exceptions. There's also some other things we don't... Pictures of Joe Rogan as our artwork. It's not the Joe Rogan show we're doing.
Think about what you're promoting, people.
These are promotional pieces that promote the show. So, we're not promoting Joe Rogan's show. We're not promoting
However, I must
Joe Biden.
I must say the picture of Joe with the caption, breaking news, Adam Curry spreads Tourette's to Joe Rogan, is a personal fave. We're not going to use it, but I like it.
It is funny.
Spreads Tourette's.
It'd have been nice if the picture of Joe wasn't so red. Bringing back the color issues.
Oh, yes.
So there are a number of things anyway, this piece was the only one that really had a chance, I thought, to get on, because the rest of the pieces were just sloppy. And also you had a comment. You think that Darren O'Neill
needs to stop with that background.
He's got to back off on his red background.
It's the same one. It's the same one. It's like, we get it. It's not working.
Yeah, it stopped working. And
can I just point out, we really love all these people. This is real
artists.
Love. Yeah, they're artists.
They need to be abused. I know I'm cruel to say this.
Oh, okay. And have you done this? Do you have a history of abusing artists, or only during coronavirus?
I've been in the publishing business long enough to know how it goes. And artists, they get abused, and they like it. I don't know that they like it. They probably don't like it, but they expect it.
Huh.
Because you're not doing your job if you're not abusing them, and you have to be the big dick. Artists are very sensitive people, but they expect something out of the customer too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we're giving them everything they wish for, I guess.
Well, this is like a professional operation.
We are very professional.
It's like the height of professionalism.
And that is, I really need to say this, because when I compare anything out there to the amount of information and the producers we have and what they send in and how this really works and the stories and the expertise, we have 4 pharmacists. And how many dentists do we have? We have people everywhere, and they understand. My job is not to bitch and say, I can't believe you didn't talk about that, which is what most podcasts get. Instead, our producers know I need to email Adam and John and say, here's my expertise, here's what I think about it, here's some stuff to look at. And you do that before the show. And we're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. I think we are unstoppable, and I'm very proud of it. And
we do our best.
ArtGenerator.com, part of our value for value system. You get out of it what you put into it. And the artists are sure getting their money's worth today. We really appreciate you, Sir NetNet, and everyone who participates in this, and the many other ways, including financially, this would be completely impossible without that. So we'd like to thank up front our executive producers and associate executive producers who shall be credited as such for episode 1276.
I have to mention one more thing about the artists. How come Mike Riley... Okay. By the way, I used Mike Riley piece on the newsletter. Mm-hmm. And Mike Riley did a piece this time called Free Comic Strip Blogger with a Fist. He's got an icon there.
Really?
I don't understand what was going on with this.
Let me see what's happened. Where is it?
It's right at the top. It's called Freedom. It's got Riley writing a free comic strip blog. He's got a fist. Somehow he's got a fist he got into the font. I don't know how he did that. It's right at the top.
Yeah,
left.
I see it. I'm not so sure what that. I don't know. I have no idea what that is.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just thank a few people who produced the show.
Yes.
Jake Scott's right at the top of the list from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and he came in with $1,000, which is nice. But he did no note, and we looked and looked. I looked for Scott. I looked under his real email, which is something at yahoo.com, and I couldn't find anything. So I will go with no jingles, no karma for the moment, and then he can write us if he wants to say anything. Otherwise, he's an Instanite.
Yes.
But he came in literally as one of the Instanite. There is an Instanite donation level, but there's no mention of what he wants to be knighted as. But we're knighting him as Sir Jake Scott. Is he on the list? I don't think so.
No. But I'm putting him on there now. Okay. Sir
Yeah, it
Jake
wasn't like
Scott. He's in now, man, definitely.
Meanwhile, Anonymous Knight in Michigan comes with $828.20, and he wrote a check, and he got plastered all over the check. Don't mention my name.
Okay.
But he does want Jobs Karma and the Curry Recipe for Success clip. This is a recipe for success, the one that sounds like you, but it's somebody else.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And this bumps him to Baron, and I believe he's been upgraded. He should be on the upgrade list as the Baron of the Great Lakes Watershed.
Ah, yes. This is why he's not on the night list. He's a title upgrade. Yeah, yes.
He's a title upgrade. Yeah. He should be on there.
Yeah, he is on there. He is on there. Yes.
And he says, "Sincerely, Sir A." Oh no, Sir. Oh, his is old name. Sir, a source familiar with the matter. So he's actually a source familiar with the matter. We'll give him. Give him his Baron name.
Yeah, we'll give him his Baron name, and he wanted Jobs Karma. You said, and the recipe.
He wants Jobs Karma and the Curry Recipe for Success.
Someone's getting cornholed today.
Sounds like a recipe for success to me.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Okay. Typical Michigonian.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a Michigander. Sir Boiled Peanuts next from Parts Unknown, $500. No Jingles, No Karma. Another good one. Show is fantastic as usual. Shout out to my fellow Carolinian producers. Update on noagendabuttons.com. Still working on a way to make SASE work for international producers, so everyone that lives outside the U.S., a solution is coming. So far, 401 submissions to the site and 2005 buttons have been created and mailed.
Wow.
Outside of postage costs in my slow service, they are free. These are rookie numbers, people. We got to pump those numbers up. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Look, here's the deal.
Look, come on, man. No joke. Every design has been chosen at least twice, but most popular three are the 33, the magic number, Club 33, Old Radio Mike, You Will Obey, and In the Morning, which is a take on the old Sun Records label. New design soon. NoAgendaButtons.com.
NoAgendaButtons.com. NoAgendaButtons.com. Yes, they're beautiful. They're really fun. Sir Boiled.
Oh, they're dynamite.
Thank you very much for your courage. Yes.
Aaron Moreno in Covino, Virginia, $375. I have a note. Is it Covino or I don't know?
Sounds right.
Remember that.
Covino.
Thank you for your courage and twice weekly. Now, hold on a second. So it's actually dark in here. No lights on the subject. Let me get it.
Oh my God. This is
twice weekly sanitation you provide my wife, Nadine, and me over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Since she is a Parisienne French, you have at least one donating avid French producer.
Wow. There she is.
Yeah. We appreciate that, but she's not in France, and that's what we're bitching about.
It really has to be an arrogant, angry Frenchman. Otherwise, it kind of doesn't. It has to be a dude.
Perfect.
It has to be a dude. An angry, arrogant French man.
Arrogant is high on the list of importance.
An average arrogant.
Yeah, not
regular. Yeah, or
well, average arrogant is more arrogant than any American.
Anyone else. Yeah.
With my formerly conservative alma mater, USC, going woke and canceling all fall sports, this donation represents a reallocation of game day funds plus the defunding of an honor society to which I belong. I encourage all others to reallocate funds so they would normally spend on entertainment or charitable causes that have gone woke. And they should reallocate to the best podcasts in the universe. The breakdown is as follows. $150 for 6 games of an on-campus parking at $25 per game. $90 for 6 games of an on-campus tailgate reservations at $15 per game. $135 for my yearly donation to Phi Beta Kappa, another smart listener, because they, too, have gone woke. SJW.
Wow.
Please call out my douchebag cousin Frankie.
Yeah, right.
Douchebag. I hit him in the mouth many years ago, and he has yet to donate. Pre-COVID, this douchebag has no problem spending $10 on a craft single-batch artisanal beer.
That's a beer that tells you a story.
Yeah, well, it's a small batch. So he says single batch, but small batch, same thing. But can't donate to the best podcast in the universe. Can't do it. He is the epitome of a douchebag. No
Sounds
jingles.
like it.
Just need a good dose of health karma for the septuagenarian parents, the family, and the no agenda community. Aaron Moreno.
Yeah, man, you got it. Here's your karma.
You've got karma.
So what's he doing in Virginia? I wonder what a Phi Beta Kappa would be doing in Virginia. What could you guys be doing in Virginia?
What could they be doing? Is it Langley?
I don't know what they're doing. But there's a lot of people who live in Virginia. Sean O'Connell isn't one of them, I don't think. $350. Just another contribution to the show. My appreciation for the valuable and important work you are doing.
Yeah. Yowza.
And thank you, John and Adam.
Thank you.
We're good with that.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Brian Boatwright in Lake City, Florida, $334. Says not sent via email. I think he means note sent, and I believe I do have a note from Boatwright.
Brian Boatwright, yeah.
It's not here. There it is. With my 5th donation to No Agenda Podcast at $334, it propels me to knighthood.
Ah!
And I believe he's on the list. Yes, I don't have a speech, but I would like a plug for my company, CEUFast.com. CEUFast.com, which provides online continuing education for nurses.
Oh.
We're a small business, and the founders are both retired nurses.
Nursing CE.
If you are a nurse or know one, we would appreciate a visit and consideration to use our services. Keep up the great work. Jingle request. A karma of your choice. And then he wants jobs karma, so it has to be one of these. And he wants the Pelosi jobs karma. And his title is going to be Sir Brian of Makerville. Okay?
Yes, I'm looking at the CEUFast.com. It's very interesting. Nursing.
What is it?
Well, Nursing CE, which I think is like Windows CE. Anytime, anywhere. Meet your continuing education for... continuing education.
Continuing education.
Yeah, meet your continuing education for nurses' requirements at home, work, or on the... This is a big deal.
Yes.
Nursing is... The diplomas are also very expensive, so anything you do is very expensive. So if he's got a good deal, I think I'm all for it. I like his little owl logo. Oh, cute. Smart learning owl. Very nice. Yes, of course we've got jobs for you.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Okay, good luck, Brian. Sir Vladimir Klega in Ostravia, Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, Czechia, whatever that is. I don't know. I can't keep track of all these Czech operations. Enough of douchebagging. This donation, he writes, I'm ready to finally use my title. I was knighted during Millennium Promo Knighting many shows ago. However, as I did not contribute the full amount, I did not use the title nor ask for a ring. Ah.
Okay.
BOGO did work. this is going to change today. It's my 55th birthday. He's on the list, and I have opened a small vape shop after 30 years in the tobacco industry. Hence, I will ask for jobs and business karma for my store. A MILF jingle for my smoking hot wife, Olga, and a Reverend Al anything for a great start of the week. Your show has been a staple of my both weekly Sundays since Cranky Geeks, so stay woke and keep on deconstructing. Love and light from Ostrava, Czechia. Sir Vladimir. Okay.
Very nice, Sir Vladimir. And let me just see. Was there just the MILF jingle? Was there no karma? Sorry.
No,
yes, business karma. Yeah.
Business karma for his store.
Got it.
That's one mother I'd like to.
The GOP infighting is escalating. Politico says Democrats are outright jitty. Happy to watch the GOP implode.
You've got karma.
Nothing like a jitty from the Rev.
No, doesn't like it. Why don't you read this one?
Ew, from Sir Sean Fincham in Portland, Oregon, 33333. The magic numbers need to start with an urgent rain stick request for the wildfires raging across the western United States, in particular for my fellow Oregonians. This may seem excessive, but at least 2 to 3 shakes, if agreeable. The Clackamas County evacuation zones are too close for comfort. Well, certainly not. We cannot do 3 shakes. That is irresponsible behavior. We are trained professionals. We're wet here. We're wet. It is raining like nuts. So I know what happens if we conjure it up. Austin's going to get more, but I think we can handle it.
Well, this time I'll agree, just in case, and I will give 1 shake.
Each one? Just each 1 shake? Or
well, 1 shake, which one you do a shake and then do a flip. So that's a full shake.
It's a full shake. Okay.
Yeah.
You ready? Count me in. Ooh, that felt powerful. I love how I had to put it back in the safe. I love how people. Yeah, man.
Do you keep yours in a gun safe too?
Yeah, of course. You can't have kids touching that shit.
No, they grab it. They think it's something to play with.
People talking about.
Next thing you know, your house is off its foundation, floating down a river.
You're WAP. So people who are now talking about us because of Rogan, commonly you'll read, these guys think they actually can control rain with some rain stick gag they've got going on. How little do you know, people? These are official rain sticks made by Sherry.
Yeah.
In Utah.
She makes the best.
She makes the best. If you want a rain stick, I hear indigenous people from all over the world come to Sherry in Utah to get her rain sticks.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. On a happier note, this donation brings me to Barony. The title Baron Finch will suffice. You got it. And he has a couple of jingle requests. He wants, now he says he wants sharped in the end. The world is, no, that's Manning. So that's Reverend Manning. Wrong, Reverend. Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole. He wants that one. Donald F. Breast cancer for our beloved friend Justine, who just finished her last round of chemo and is having surgery soon, most definitely. And a heavy dose of jobs karma for my smoking hot, fire pun intended, wife, who is currently incubating our first human resource, debuting in December. Any and all girl dad tips, greatly appreciated. Yes, brace for impact. Love you guys. Love the show. Thank you for doing the work so we don't have to. And thank you very much, Sir Finch, Baron Finch, to be. And we'll see you in a bit at the round table.
They're saying that all hell is going to break loose and you're going to need a Bitcoin.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Onward with Sir Vladislav Dubov in Moscow.
Moscow. Mokba.
$333. And I find no note under either donation or under his name. So if you're listening, and I'm sure you are, under the watchful eye of Putin, I would suggest you send us a note. We'll read it in some future show whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a quick look and make sure I didn't miss anything from him. I don't think so.
Now, while you're looking, I'll go on to Jared Turner in Moscow, Idaho. I believe he's in Idaho. He's in the U.S., Moscow somewhere. It's just interesting. There's a classic random number thing going on there. $33, exact same amount of money, too. Weird.
Ha!
In the morning, we, Rexo Quozo, have procrastinated in a way that is unacceptable. The time has come for bars. Not just any bars. We're talking about no-agenda bars. No-agenda bars with a splash of Mo bars. End of the show mix attached below. You guys have quite quickly taken over the numbers, one spot in my podcast rankings. Followed closely by Mo Facts with Adam Curry.
Whoa.
How awkward is this for Joe Rogan? He introduced us, but now I'm closer to John, Adam, and Mo than Joe. Weird stuff.
These guys did such a fantastic song. I'm going to play it in its entirety, end of show. Just have a quick listen. You heard some of this, John. Listen to this. This is so dynamite. From Russia, ladies and gentlemen.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage. In the morning, Quozo hit me in the mouth a couple times, but I ignored him then. For whatever reason, Adam goes on JRE, and I've been hooked on No Agenda ever since it's so informing.
These are from Moscow.
Yeah, but Moscow, USA.
Still Moscow. They're from Moscow. Shut up.
Drew Sample. Well, anyway, anything we?
No, we don't. No, I'm going to give him a karma and just thank him very much, and we'll play that at the end of show mix.
You've got karma.
Rexo Quozo.
It's definitely worth the.
It's a winner. It's a winner. It's a winner.
It's a winner again. Another winner from the No Agenda show, provided directly to you. Drew Sample, meanwhile, is not in Moscow. He's in Columbus, Ohio, $260.55. He's a first associate executive producer for show 1270-something.
1276.
Jingles, Turret Sound, Guy Sound, the Fauci Sound, Trump, that's true, Jordan Peterson, that's wrong. ITM, John and Adam, sorry in advance for War and Peace. This is not War and Peace, believe me.
No, it's not at all.
I am proud to announce that this donation I've reached knighthood. I'd like to claim the title of Sir Bubba Hotep, protectorate of all hoteps, hoodbillies, and urban farmers. I'm requesting microgreens and grass-fed beef at the round table.
Microgreens, grass-fed beef it is. I'm putting in the order now.
I was excited to hear John mention Hotep Jesus on the show. Then later that day to hear Hotep Jesus say he wanted to interview Adam. Looking forward to that show. I'm glad to see the two of my podcast tribes are crossing over.
What? Yeah. What are you laughing about?
We're same there, exactly. Now to get Mo over there to speak with them about ADOS. I think they can. Actually, Mo would probably do a good job with them.
I would
like to invite all the No Agenda producers for the first ever Columbus Grove City meetup on Saturday, September 12th. I think it's on the list at Three Brothers Restaurant, 3090 Southwest Boulevard, Grove City. Thanks to you both for your courage. You better have posted that at noagendameetups.com.
I think so.
Thanks to you both for your courage and the No Agenda producers who supported my urban farm. Restaurant orders are picking up again. Yeah, if you're running an urban farm, you should do well if you have restaurants. But business is more unpredictable than ever for everyone in the Toledo and Columbus, Ohio metropolitan area. Check out my website, capcitygreens.com.
Oh.
CAPCITY greens.com. Go buy some greens from this guy.
Yeah.
I've recently partnered with local beef supplier to bring you the best grass-fed beef in the area.
Oh, I got it. Okay. It's a collab. It's a joint.
To call Nathan Frazier. You like to call it Nathan Frazier as a douchebag. Douchebag. Once again, by the way, I would thank him for all his help with the sales, copy, and marketing advice. Oh, well, that's nice. I'd also like to shout out to his podcast, The Dark Arts of Marketing Podcast. I may even go check that out myself. Thank you again, Sir Bubba Hotep.
Yo, Sir Bubba Hotep, here's your mix for us, man. I got some stuff for you. Here we go. He wanted the Tourette's. It's a Tourette's combo.
Thank you, Chairman Nadler, Ranking Member Collins, members of the committee. First of all, I must say I have Tourette's syndrome. Sometimes I have tics and make sounds I can't control. So please forgive me.
That's true.
Wrong.
That poor guy.
Sir Dave.
It's sad when you have it, you tell everybody, and you go right into a horrible episode. I have it, so I know how funny this is.
Yeah, but you don't have that form of it.
I have I've had grunts, groans.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never noticed.
This really weird one is like I have to hit my fingers against my thigh.
What?
Yeah. It's you have to see it. It's weird. It's messed up.
I have to hit my fingers against my thigh.
Yeah, and the eye squinting is new. Of course, it's the thing that's most obvious, but I can't stop it, so I just give up on it. I wish it would go down somewhere
with
else.
The eye squinting. Some people think it's sexy.
Yeah. Well, as you did here on the Joe Rogan show, very much like our Secretary of the Treasury, Mnuchin, you get Tourette's, but you also get a hot wife.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned you said that. I saw that part of the show.
It's a superpower,
and I thought that you were more or less kidding. But at the same time, I started thinking about other people I know that have Tourette's, and they all have hot wives.
We clean up. I know.
And I think it's because of the winking and blinking.
Oh, he's winking at me. He must like me.
There's all kinds of superpower that comes with Tourette's. Some shall not be named. Okay. Some shall not be named.
Yeah, Sir Dave, the Duke of America's Heartland, is our superpower expert in the Arabian Peninsula. He's the Duke of America's Heartland, the Arabian Peninsula, and he actually comes from Gladstone, Missouri, but he hasn't been there forever. $233.33. This donation is from Dame Melody, who was awarded the coveted magic number recently while waiting for her takeout order. As everyone knows, this means donate.
Yeah.
If you get the number 33 or number 33, oh, okay, I have to donate. Our Irish dance school in Kansas City managed to plan, organize, and successfully execute a major complete competition over Labor Day weekend. And now we're in the sure hope nobody got the corona on them and blames it on us phase.
Yeah.
How about a little F corona karma just in case? Adam, have you considered doing a deep dive on Dr. Ted for one of the rare days when you and John take a holiday? He certainly predicted a lot of what we're seeing today. Finally, I haven't been fired recently, but I'm about to let my company know I will not be recontracting at the end of the year. He's firing himself.
Nice.
So some traditional jobs, Karma, please, thank you for your courage.
To answer your question, I do not think you can do a discussion on Professor Ted. I like to weave it into the daily conversations.
How about just reading his tome?
Now,
Adam Curry
that's a good idea.
Dr. Ted.
That's an
Adam
interesting
Curry
idea.
reading Dr. Ted.
I'm sure that's a copyright violation. I can't just go reading that and put it out, can I?
Send him a note. He's at the Supermax up in Colorado. He'll answer.
Send him a note. Okay, I'm all over that, boss.
You've got
Corona. Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Thank you, Sir Dave. And I want to know, how did Dame Isabella do in the competition? How'd she do? You didn't mention. How'd she do? She's pretty darn good.
Well, maybe he'll mention with another donation next show.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Evan Walls in Williston, North Dakota comes in with $225. I've been listening for the past 5 years. You truly keep me sane. Keep it short. Need human resource karma. I'm my frying, sizzling hot plate wife, and I just found out she's pregnant.
Woo!
Families that know agenda together stay together. I know that she would love to hear a Sharpton respect clip. Much love and happy belated to Adam from the Walls family. Are you part of Wall Drug in North Dakota?
Thank you very much, Walls family. Congratulations. And is that what the kids are calling it today? No agendaing? Okay. I guess. Come on, Reverend Al.
He's getting lunch at Chipotle. The tortoise in the race. Kim Kardashian, Sigourney Weaver. What?
R-E-S-P-I-C-T.
They're all jitty.
R-E-S-P-I-C-T.
There's no real conflict.
Resist. We must. Resist.
You've got karma.
Chester Perry comes next. We got a big list today.
Yeah, it's a great list. Hello.
Want to apologize for this going on for long, but we're happy.
Yes.
Chester Perry in Emerald, Pennsylvania comes with $223.33. Thanks for both of you for doing the work. I was waiting for a good time and thoughts for my note before. I was waiting for a good time and thoughts for my note before donating. At least I was until Farmer Todd outed me as a douchebag, 100%. So he needs a de-douching.
Oh, yes.
You've been de-douched.
Douchebagging works, people.
De-douching he got. He wants a Pelosi Trump jobs karma with a write-in. He says write-in sweet corn this November.
Is sweet corn running?
I guess so.
Jobs.
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 And jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Kevin R. in Edmonton, Alberta, 222. I've been listening for the 3 years, and I've been on the 1111 monthly plan for 2. It's been a great value, but you deserve more. Please accept my humble donation of 305 Canadian dollarettes. You'll be bumped up to executive producer with this donation. To the greatest podcast in the universe. Would you kindly de-douche me?
Yes, you bet.
You've been de-douched.
My birthday's on 9/11, so please add my name to the list. I'm currently 33. And it was a bit of a whopper. Here's hoping 34 is as interesting as this one. No jingles, but can I get a shot of jobs karma for my smoking hot wife, Harmony, as she applies for a dream job?
You bet.
I'll write a longer note when I've earned my knighthood, and till then, keep up the good work. Love and light, Kevin R.
Love and light to you.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Pedro Gonzalez, or Gonzalves.
So, I'm sorry. So Kevin R., since he did send in dollarettes, valued 305, he's an executive producer. We bump him up, right?
Yeah,
We recognize all dollarette denominations.
Yeah, but Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Pedro Gonzalez, 21021. In the morning, old PayPal account got suspended and pretty much canceled without me even noticing to donate. It's been paused for over 2 years.
Oh, no.
Apparently, he was a subscriber, and you got to keep up with these things.
Yeah, they unsubscribe you all the time.
I've been a subscriber for 20 years. Now you haven't been for it all. I also had to cut down on expenses so I could keep stacking sats ahead of the collapse.
Stacking sats, bro.
I've been eligible for knighthood for a while, but it was saving for something good. I would like to be known as Sir Bitcoin. Yes, I think that's a first.
That's interesting. Possibly. I don't think we have a Sir Bitcoin.
Keto snacks on the round table, please. Accounting below. And he's got a whole thing here. A new job karma for my lady and a de-douching for myself. We'll give you a de-douching right now.
Oh, sorry. There it is.
You've been de-douched.
Hit it hard. De-douching.
Anyway, he needs that for not donating. Please reconsider Bitcoin donation. I'll tell you, we should have taken Bitcoins when we first had the opportunity because it would have been a big deal. The problem I have with it is that we really do everything we can because of the nature of the show to stay on the up and up with the IRS. And to be dicking around with Bitcoins is not, it's just going to get us in trouble. Sorry.
Really? I believe you. I believe you.
I'm very conscientious about paying taxes and making sure we don't have money going changing its value and all the rest in a wallet.
Wait a minute, you pay taxes? I thought we were a nonprofit.
We're not a nonprofit. Let's get that straight.
No, for sure not.
FOSS project like BTC Pay Server make it easy for the 100% independent third-party payment services. A dirty fiat to pay the bills, Bitcoin to store the value. Thank you for your courage, Pedro. Thank you for that advice.
Well, I actually do have a BTC Pay server myself at home. It works quite well. You could drop it straight into a dollar account before you take it out. But I agree with you. having been through some IRS stuff, me personally with the show, they don't like podcasters, okay? They really don't like podcasters. Podcasting and Bitcoin is like two things that they don't like. Oh, no. If you add to a day trader, you're in jail. That's pretty much how bad it is. Sadly, because there should not be a different tier of justice for us than rich people who can afford to fight back amongst the IRS's many shenanigans.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's life. It's
you
life.
just do what you have to do.
We do what we got to do.
Vincent Dame in Tucson, Arizona, $209.09 is our last associate executive producer. Despite the fact that I will mention this, there is a guy out there, Nathan Cook, who sent in $200 due donation. Should be.
But where did he go?
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere.
That's interesting. I don't see. Oh, here's.
I have Vince. Let me read Vince's note.
Yeah, please do.
Jingles, he wants as much Abu Bakr Baghdadi Trump song you're willing to play, and Karma.
I don't remember. We didn't. Oh, what is the name of that Abu Bakr Baghdadi? What the hell was the name of that song?
I have no idea. So apparently the amount we're willing to play is none.
Oh,
I'll read his note. I'm putting the money from this donation toward the damehood of my smoking hot mama, Tiffany Dame, to celebrate her upcoming birthday on the 9th of September. Please add her to the list. I believe we did that.
Yes,
John, I have a bone to pick with you. I've donated twice before and yet to be de-douched, even though I requested it.
Oh, no. Can we do it now?
De-douching now, so we can keep getting these notes.
You've been de-douched.
No hard feelings, but one solid de-douche for each of us would be greatly appreciated. Give her one, too, then.
You got it.
You've been de-douched.
And also a big shout-out to Chris Newbold, who hit me in the mouth and is getting dangerously close to douchebaggedness. Anyway, that's all I got, fellas. Halam yay, muy yay. Or something. I probably said something that creates a spell.
They've had so many good suggestions, but I cannot remember what the hell that thing was.
Well, give him his karma.
Abu Baghdadi. Abu Baghdadi. I remember it like it was yesterday.
You've got karma.
In the show, maybe Trump. Let me see. It's just pissing me off now because it's such a good song. Well, if someone has that, then send it off to me so I can play. I need to add that in some understandable way to my my system. Gosh darn it! That's too bad.
90% of archiving is naming things correctly.
And how are we with that, John?
Very poor. Very poor.
Thank you all to our executive producers and associate executive producers. These are the people who really come through for us time and time again, and this is why they get these titles, these credits, and you can use them anywhere credits are recognized. People have gotten gigs through them, all kinds of jobs, put on your LinkedIn profile, in your resume, or just try it at your local bar. You can pick up people with this thing. It does work. Boys and girls, both. And yes?
I was going to say, before you go into the last little final throws of the segment, I do have a make good I want to read.
Sure.
It's from Sir Janiski AM. Happy birthday, Adam. You're an inspiration to me. Seeing you to continue to evolve from MTV JO to Podfather to Austin, Texas ambassador is a testament to all we can be. Further best wishes to John and Mimi's anniversary. My much better than I deserve wife and I just celebrated 10 years in June. My contribution today is to ask for a triple jobs karma. I'm a manager who oversees the dude's named Ben, and I've been out of work since April. Recruiters I have talked to have explained that their hours were cut as well. I'm sorry. It's funny that the recruiters got fired. Due to the lean job market, best of all, I spent the last 3 months trying to collect unemployment, which I finally got yesterday. This was after calling the Department of Labor and Industry hotline over 500 times. Problems like these are very widespread, but are underreported by the M5M. So we'll give you a jobs karma and we can be done.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
That's right, everybody. And if you'd like to support us for the next show, just go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
And thank you so much for supporting us. That's right, the No Agenda Show.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
Well, they let Biden out of the basement.
Out of the basement, yes.
And I have a slew of clips, and there's one thing I want to deconstruct, because this has been going on, and it's been going on, and he's got these patterns that he says this. He says a lot of times, guess what? Guess what? Guess what he said? Guess what?
Guess what, folks? He says, guess what, folks?
He does that, but he's the one that's really bugging me is well, I'm going to get to that, but first I have to kind of apologize. I got nothing from his interview last week, from his Cardi B interview.
Wasn't that Cardi B interview way older than that?
No, I think it's a week and a half old. It's not that old.
No, Cardi B was weeks and weeks ago. They just brought it back because...
Oh, maybe they brought it back.
They brought it back because it was terrible. Yeah.
And so I just want to say I found a summary of the Cardi B interview by one of those black guys who just mugs in the camera and he watches stuff and he grimaces. And he's listening.
Yes, the comedian.
No, he's not the comedian. This is a guy, I've never seen this guy before.
Oh, okay.
But he's got good facial expressions. And I think he summarized this up. You hear the Cardi B interview in the background. He's watching it. And here we go.
And what is this titled?
Summary.
Oh, well, that makes lots of sense.
And I just want answers. I want to know when this is over.
This is cut up. I want to see it uncut.
This is cut up. I want to see it uncut.
What is that about?
It was edited to death.
Yeah, August 17th is when this took place.
Okay, it's weeks and weeks ago. You're right.
Yeah, of course.
So let's hear the couple of things that I have some complaints. For one thing, I've got, and these clips are. Well, let's start with this one. Let's get to my complaint, which is this clip is not called Biden. This is called Not a Joke, and this is from his Pennsylvania meeting, and this is this starts to come up in the conversation with all his meetings now.
Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Taxpayers' dollars where you're spending federal money, hiring contractors to do things. Under my administration, it will be all made in America. Not a joke.
Yeah, not a joke. Not a joke.
Now, so a lot of people just like, this guy says crazy stuff. What is the implications of saying not a joke in any context whatsoever? The implications is that it's a joke, and you have to make it so it's not a joke. So you make an assertion, and then the assertion is ludicrous, or you think it's ludicrous, or you know it's ludicrous, or you know it's probably fake, and so you have to say not a joke to correct the record. That's
a good point.
Biden does this constantly, and here's the one this is from Michigan, and this is the clip, Biden for real comments.
Middle-class folks are getting hurt, and people are offshoring jobs. He talks about how we're going to take care of making sure that, we created more jobs. That was the promise he made out here. The automobile industry, the steel industry, etc. The issue is, if the American worker gets to have a shot, they're the best competitor in the world. I mean, for real, not a joke.
I'm trying to think how I might have used that term. It'd probably be, but this is not a joke, okay? So you can say that. If you do it up front, you say, hey, man, I'm not joking around now. This means you're very serious. But to say it at the end is rather odd. I agree.
Well, in this case, he says, the American worker is the best there is in the world. This is for real, not a joke. Again, this really disturbs me because the implications upon deconstruction, which is what we do on this show when we want to, and most of the time.
When we want to hold to the mission statement, yes.
We want to hold the mission. It's like the implications that it is a joke. And he has to say not a joke to reverse the mindset that you're already in. What is wrong with this guy? Because he's the one. It's in his mind that American workers suck. I would never say this not a joke at the end of that commentary because I think American workers are great, but apparently he doesn't. Yeah, and he's letting out his true feelings or actually come out in many of these not a joke comments. He says not a joke. He does it all the time.
I think even worse is that it subliminally is sending, I think, a very bad message if he wants to become president. I don't think that is very inspiring.
Let's face it, Joe's shot.
You know, it's just not. Sorry, you like that end of show ISO?
I have the ISO.
I mean, for real, not a joke.
I don't know, man. I think. You tell me which one you like, back to back.
I mean, for real, not a joke.
Let's face it, Joe's shot.
Come on. It's not even.
Back to back would be dynamite.
Back to back's not even a competition, man. So good.
Well, I'm gonna have to dig out. I have one more ISO in here. Maybe not. All right, let's go on with some more Biden stuff. Biden has this thing. Now that he's out, we're going to see more of this. He has an inability. This is Biden's inability to maintain continuity. He cannot stay with a single thought without getting distracted and going off on tangents. And he does it not in a good way, which would be like a Shaggy Dog story. He just does it because he just can't hold it together. Play this one.
You're going to have the best friend Labor's ever had in the White House because, my dad used to have an expression.
Wait a minute.
You're going to have the best friend Labor's ever had in the White House because, my dad used to have an expression.
What is he saying? But you have the best friend in the White House?
He's the best friend that Labor's ever going to have because his dad had an expression.
The guy, he's toast. Toast.
Now, he does extrapolate this a bit, so, I did cut it out, but just showing the discontinuity. But if you play I have the whole clip, I believe.
The ramble?
Oh, this ramble. We'll find this thing. This is, unfortunately, inability, Union Man, ramble from second event. All right, let's go with, maybe I don't have it, but let's go with the ramble. It might be in there.
Okay, we're going with the ramble.
We found a position where they were rewarding corporations to move offshore, to send their jobs offshore. And so I have a plan that's called Build Back Better. It's not, but one of the things I announced today, the UAW, is that if you have a government contract, the federal government has a lot of control over a lot of things. If you use taxpayers' money and you hire people to build things or make things for the United States, you have to do it with American labor. You have to do it with American business. And what that means is that we're in a situation now where so much of it, you now get a tax break if you go abroad. For example, if you were to, like the drug companies, the drug companies have to manufacture medicines that we need.
He's so dynamic.
Oh, he's just shot. You left this guy out. It's not good.
It's horrible.
I have three more short clips. This is short. There's one, but there's this one. Another thing that's bothering me besides the no joke is the thing he said in 2008 when he accepted the vice presidency, and he keeps saying it over and over again. This is the Pennsylvania version. This is Biden, honey, okay.
Here we go.
You're going to have the best friend Labor's ever had in the White House because, my dad used to have an expression, and when he had to leave Scranton because there was no work and moved away to Delaware to find work, was that he said, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
By the way, we should be electing his dad for president.
Okay.
Now, here's Biden when he goes to Michigan to talk to some other union guys in a kind of a open air thing where they're all seated 10 feet apart, this stupid looking thing, and he's talking keeps his mask on, and they're all got a mask on, they're all mumbling, can't hear half of them. This is Biden in Michigan.
I come from a town where people lost a lot of jobs, Scranton, Pennsylvania. And then I moved to a town that used to have 6,200 steelworkers. Worst steel in Claymont, Delaware. It was, that was the town. That was the town. And there's nothing there now. Nothing there. And one of the things that I see happening all the time is that most hardworking folks, they're not looking for any handouts, they're looking for an opportunity. Just a shot. Just a shot to make it. And the women and men I grew up with busted their neck and were able to live a decent life. My dad used to have an expression. He said, Joey, when he lost his job up in Scranton, moved down, he was cleaning boilers in Wilmington, Delaware, where he had been raised as a kid, and then he moved to Scranton when he was in high school. He used to say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck.
Oh, brother,
it's
Joey.
About your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to your place in the community, about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it.
You know, have you tried speeding him up? Do you think that would work?
No. I have one last clip. Honey, it's going to be okay. I'm going to start saying that to you.
Okay, baby.
You're going to have the best friend Labor's ever had in the White House because, you know, my dad used to have an expression, and when he had to leave Scranton because there was no work and moved away to Delaware to find work, was that he said, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about your place in the community. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay.
Aww.
Now, let's play. Now, this is the clip that I saved for the end, which is the Biden Union clip.
Yeah.
I have a couple questions about this one. And, you know, there's this thing called, I think it's called false, it's actually against the law now. It's called like false valor, or you like wearing a military uniform.
Stolen valor.
Stolen valor.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what Biden's doing here.
With?
Biden Union.
Well,
hold on. Biden, you know, I guess this is it. Hold on.
Well, thank you. I've been union from the time I was a kid. In my house, you didn't grow up if you... We knew who built the country. We figured it out early on. My uncle used to kid me and say, Joe, you're union from belt buckle to shoe sole. But that was an occupational, a family requirement. But anyway.
What?
What union was Biden in?
The Steelworkers Union.
He was?
Of course not. He's been in no unions.
Well, he just said he was. He's a union man.
I don't know.
He's been in unions.
Did you look on his wiki page?
I couldn't find any unions that he was a member of.
Hold on, I'm doing a little test here. Hold on. No, that's a little too fast. Sorry. I'm trying to get...
Are you trying to speed him up and hope it works? It's not going to work.
I'm trying to give him, let me see, speed multiplier. So how about this?
1.1.
Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. You'd think 1.1. Hold on. I'm doing it Audacity. You're the guy who knows how to do Audacity. This is not my thing. I think there's a slider.
Okay,
for that, yeah, I got it. Here's the slider. Here we go.
I come from a town where people lost a lot of jobs, Scranton, Pennsylvania.
That's about the speed.
And then I moved.
I didn't hear anything.
It used to have 6,200.
You're not hearing that?
No.
That's funny. I'm hearing it. You're not. That's not coming back to you.
No.
Okay. I don't know why. Sorry. Oh, here we go. This will do it. This is almost a spectacular fail. I don't know. I can't get it to work. It wasn't going to work.
Oh, here it
anyway.
is. I looked up Biden.
Bad bit. Yeah, what you got?
I didn't even know there was a union for this, but he was a local 10 of the plagiarist union.
Okay. I'm not quite sure that's stolen valor if you lie about being in a union, but maybe he was probably in SAG-AFTRA.
I don't think he was
Screen Actors Guild. Oh, please. These guys all are SAG-AFTRA. Of course they are. I guarantee you can look up any politician then they're SAG-AFTRA. Just in case there has to be, to play a role in designated survivor or something of that nature. I'm sure of it. Well, I do have a couple 2020 things if we just want to talk about, let's see what's happening.
Well, before we do that, I do have one offbeat clip. We might as well play it. Because people always think we're a bunch of Trump supporters. Here's Trump in North Carolina with his crazy little comment. I don't think it's been fixed.
Now, why do people call us crazy Trump supporters?
Because I'm just winging it.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges, but they want to destroy your suburbs.
Hold on. And it gets better because he says they want to destroy your suburbs.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges, but they want to destroy your suburbs. What the
hell?
The rule, the regulation that I just terminated. They want to build low-income projects in the suburbs. They've been doing it. They've been destroying suburbs. We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's an epic fail. And what a good one to put on repeat everywhere. I haven't seen this play anywhere. It's perfect.
It's surprising. I know why they're not playing it. It's because if you start playing, Trump makes gaffes too, and he makes ones just like that.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot, and he's easy to. They don't. If you start doing that, they say, well, then he's going to draw attention to Joe. Don't want to draw attention to Joe. Let's don't talk about gaffes because, my God,
that's true. That's
screwed.
True.
If that
don't
happens.
Talk about his mental health and don't talk about anything. Yeah, precisely. Nothing that could come back and splatter us. One of our producers is trying to get a local election. So I forget which election it was. Somewhere they're trying to get someone on the ballot, not for the general, but for whatever's local. And they have a phone bank. He sent this recording to me. He said one of our people was, on the phone bank, the demon dialer, whatever. And this is what our producer said. So I don't know, but this is what a recording of a number they called and what they got when dialed. Hold on. Here it comes.
I reached the phone line for the Hillary Clinton 2020 campaign. We are actively accepting phone calls and support towards this campaign, so your call is very important to us. If you'd like to speak to a campaign representative, please stay on the line for the next available one.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's real or not, or if it's old.
Well, I don't think it's real, but I think somebody found somebody who sounds like Hillary, because that sounds like Hillary, but it's not quite.
Oh.
Because I've always had this thing. This is kind of the more, the bad side of my personality. When I find someone, because you'll be roaming around, you got a good ear, you can say, oh, that guy sounds exactly like somebody. And the worst case scenario for somebody would be this. Oh, man, that guy sounds exactly like that guy's boss.
It's not who we are.
I'm going to have him call and fire him.
Oh. Yeah, these are great gags. These are
Bill,
very,
this
very
is your
funny.
boss, Jim. You're fired.
Really, really funny. Is that all you got from North Carolina?
I'm just saying. I have these personality quirks. I don't execute these things necessarily, but I do think about them.
Oh, you were talking at the beginning of the show about South Jersey. That's the shit South Jersey actually will go through with and do. I remember one time.
I'm a California kid. I don't have.
No. The Jersey kids is like the phone would ring back before we really had any cell phones. Home phone. You pick it up, and then you'd hear someone else go hello, and you go hello. And yeah, who's this? Well, who's this? Well, it's Adam. Oh, it's Steve. Well, what? Well, you called me. No, you called me. Have you ever had that? That's what was the big thing back in the day. You do a conference call and you call the two lines and they ring at the same time and you get this hilarious confusion.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a win. You know what? There's a modern version of that, which is the following. And this, I have done this, and I've seen other people do it with better effect, but I've done it a couple of times. Hey, hold on, let me get a picture of you, and you turn it on movie. And you hold the thing, and you just keep holding it up as long as you can. And then when are you going to take the picture? And then they start getting antsy and moving around a lot. You never take the picture because you're taking a movie. And you get these funny movies sometimes out of these people, and you say, I was just taking a movie, and they, oh, that's so funny.
No, your gag, which I think Bear is worth repeating because they haven't seen you do it in so long. You've done it to me once. John used to do a standard if there was a new phone, some new gadget, usually a phone. So John would say, oh, can I take a look? And he'd just be like, oh, this is very interesting. And he'd hand it back and had then switched your language to Korean. And there's no way you can find how you can get back into the settings to change that back to a normal language. It's really, really dickish, but it's funny. It is totally funny. Dickish. It is funny. Also from the North Carolina meetup, as we call there, President Trump's meetup. He had some good material. I like his new Nancy material.
But if we didn't have to, that takes time and energy and all of the things, the time that we spent on this impeachment hoax, Nancy Pelosi with her hairdryer and the whole thing. Everybody has to wear a mask. You must keep all beauty parlors closed. And she's in a beauty parlor with no mask on. And then she said the biggest person. She could have said, okay. She would have said, you got me. But she said, I got set up by the beauty parlor owner, who happens to be a Trump person, by the way. I like the beauty parlor person. She said, I got set up by the owner of the beauty parlor. Now they set me up. I say, how are you going to do with Putin, Kim Jong-un, and President Xi of China? No, it's terrible. She's always preaching about the mask. You got to wear the mask at all times, indoor, outdoor. When you go to bed at night, put the mask on.
How is she going to deal with Kim Jong-un if she's getting set up by a beauty salon owner? I mean, it's genius.
Yeah, there was a meme. I think somebody wrote it from the meme.
Oh, he took it from them? Okay. Well, that's okay. You steal it. That's good.
He's got somebody doing some writing with him.
There was some hilarity that we didn't get to on the last show, and it had happened only the day before here in Austin, and we just had such a busy show that I didn't get to it. This is the Trump boat parade on Lake Travis.
Oh, yes. Supporters of President Donald Trump flocked to Central Texas, wanting to take part in this weekend's boat parade on Lake Travis, whether they were getting in the water or not.
I don't have a boat, so I wanted to watch the parade and do my best to support 4 more years of our president.
Gina Bale of Liberty Hill says concerns about the crowd and COVID-19 never crossed her mind.
I'm a school teacher. I think our kids belong back in school. I think COVID has been overrated. I understand people have lost loved ones, but if we look at the underlying issues cases, it's not that huge.
Boats with Trump flags jetted across the lake for most of the day Saturday, but the wake became too much for some. These photos show rough waters slamming one boat in the parade. According to the photographer, this boat did not go under, but another photo shows people being helped by Lake Travis Fire Rescue as a boat slips under the surface.
There was the funniest meme, although I don't have a clip of it, was, and I think only one boat sank. They were saying 4. 4 Trump boat parade, boat sink, brought to the depths by Antifa submarines. That was pretty good. I like that. That was good. That was a pretty funny joke. Now there is some more serious stuff to address. This Atlantic article, which, as we know, is based on anonymous sources who have confirmed other anonymous sources and sources who are familiar with the matter but shall not be named. And this is it Jeffrey Goldberg did he write this, the Atlantic?
He's the
editor-in-chief.
Well, he or the CIA.
Right, somewhat. Well,
and I suspect the CIA, and I believe I came to that conclusion after listening to Kayleigh go after him.
Oh, really? Oh, hold on a second. You got some Kayleigh for me. I didn't know you were bringing the Kayleigh.
I'm bringing the Kayleigh.
Okay, where is it? Are you doing it now? Where's which one? You got 4K. You got Big Kayleigh. What are we doing?
I got Big Kayleigh.
Yeah. What's happening?
Well, this was the. If you want to do the Kayleigh segment, I can do the whole Kayleigh segment, then because it's the last thing she did. But I got 4 Kayleighs. These are short.
Well, why don't I? You want to do them now? Yeah, you do them now. Do your shorties. Go.
Okay, let's start with this one, a Kayleigh. This is Kaylee. This is one I'm waiting for the New York Times to talk about. Nobody seems to be doing it. Maybe I missed it. There's Kaylee and the Nobel Prize.
Hello, everyone. Today, President Trump was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of his work in brokering an Israel-United Arab Emirates peace deal. It was a historic deal and the first such deal in over 2 decades. This is a hard-earned and well-deserved honor for this president. President Trump's foreign policy will always be one of peace through strength, and that is what the American people are seeing abroad. Career politicians merely talk about the kind of results this president has achieved on the world stage. End endless wars. We hear that often. Not too often do we see it actually done. Today, the president and the Pentagon, the Department of Defense are announcing a drawdown of troops in Iraq, just announced from 5,200 to 3,000. We are getting our allies to pay their fair share. Now 9 NATO countries are meeting their 2% spending obligations.
Yeah, but wasn't he nominated last year as well by someone in Norway? I think it's not the first time he got a nomination.
I don't remember that. It's possible. She did have this comment, which I thought was the most important thing at the press conference, because it is kind of a new record has been set.
Okay.
It's a fact. President Trump has broken the 39-year-old streak of American presidents either starting a war or bringing the United States into an international armed conflict, as a Great Washington Examiner piece headline read. These wins are possible because of the president's leadership and outsider perspective. President Trump addresses old challenges with new solutions and delivers results for the American people. And with that, I'll take questions.
I thought that was funny, the 39-year-old record. Anyway, I just was amused by it.
Okay, yeah.
So let's get to the Woodward book. I believe I have 2 clips that are similar, and I think it may be the same, some overlap here, and I don't want to play both of them. I just play one.
Okay.
So this is how she closes. I believe this is the right clip. This is Kaylee closing. She bitches about the guy who wrote the Woodward book, and when she complains about him, what she says about him makes me think he's one of these guys that writes for the CIA. Because it sounds like, but I do have to say that at the end, because John Carl was there, and I believe Acosta may have been there, there's some hecklers at the end.
But one thing I do want to address is just this really egregious, and I addressed it on Friday, but it's worth updating this Atlantic story written by a liberal activist. Now you have 25 people who have spoken out and dismissed this story, and now you even have the author of the story who said, quote, "I share the view that it's not good enough," quote, referring to the fact that he did this false report based on anonymous sources. And basically, when you look at the liberal activist who wrote this, he has a very bad history. He can't be trusted. The left's new hero used to be their number one enemy for his role in the U.S. entry into Iraq. Indeed, in the early 2000s, this author was then at the New Yorker, and he extensively wrote on the possible links between Iraq and al-Qaeda, a suggested link that was key behind the decision of U.S. involvement in Iraq. He relied on people who, in his words, quote, "seemed to me to be credible," who said that they had information about such connections between al-Qaeda and Iraq. And Goldberg's reporting simply backed up his view that the U.S. should invade Iraq. In Slate in 2002, this author argued in favor of the U.S. invading Iraq. And later, he even admitted that he knew people blamed him for helping to get the U.S. into the war. He wrote a sarcastic piece saying, yes, I know I started the Iraq War. His reporting cannot be trusted, as noted by the fact that 25 people have come out on the record dismissing his report, the report by a liberal activist. Thank you.
If he's not lying, why did he call it a hoax?
What was the scream? Why did he call what a hoax?
I don't know. No, it's something like, if Trump was lying, why did he call it a hoax, is what I heard.
Oh, brother.
And I believe that was John Carl.
Well, that was kind of interesting. I like the way she did that.
Well, it was a hit piece that she did right there on the podium. That was the meanest thing I think she's ever done.
I think we need to celebrate that.
Kaylee, you will never say you're sorry. Kaylee, when the video will never be there.
The Queen of Dragons.
Drop your mic and don't pretend that this press conference.
definitely.
Yeah.
She definitely laid it out. And when she did, I've been thinking, wait, what's the connection here? Why would this guy be, who's he writing for, really? He's promoting the Iraq War. Who's making a connection?
I read an interesting article. It's in the show notes that apparently this Jeffrey Goldberg, that he is a big Godfather fan, and they made a comparison between his writing in the article and the entire plot of Godfather 2, and the similarities are pretty uncanny. It's a good piece. No, I don't know. I mean, that could be the CIA who wrote both. I mean, who knows? That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm thinking yes to that, and I'm not all elements. I mean, I don't know. There are elements within the CIA that do a lot of different things, obviously, and they're at odds with each other. It seems to me they have to be.
Yeah,
and the fact that he was involved in that phony baloney Iraq War nonsense about Al Qaeda being
says enough, right?
Tells you one thing, and then this, which is classic. Well, what's Trump's weaknesses? We have some studies here. Well, I think the soldiers are susceptible to, because he's always saying weird stuff. And he went after McCain. He said bad things about John McCain, so therefore he hates all soldiers. And there's a lot of people took the bait.
I have a little quote from him. From this Jeffrey Goldberg, and this is only just the beginning. That's right, everybody. We've only just begun.
It's one of these things that's in the category of shocking yet not surprising. And I say not surprising because, to borrow your term, open secrets, or David Ignatius' term, open secret, in 2015, Donald Trump did something that nobody in public life had ever done before, mocked John McCain for getting captured. That in ordinary times, and according to the rules of ordinary politics, that should have ended a candidacy. It didn't, and we've been living in that reality. And so I've just been fascinated by his attitude toward the American military and toward people who serve generally, not just in the military, but people who provide selfless service to the country. It's not something that he seems to understand very well.
Have you gone back to these sources since Thursday? Are some of them considering speaking publicly?
I don't want to go into that too much. That I'm in a conversation with a large number of people.
I'm in conversation with a large number of people. What? How many people are in on this scam, bro?
A conversation,
and they're all not in the White House anymore. If they want to sell a book, they could come out and name who they are. This is really bullshit. And regarding McCain, I hate to do this, and I was thinking about it, letting you know in advance because I thought it should be at the ready. But I'd like you to play an old clip.
Okay.
Pachenik's takedown of McCain.
Oh, and we have that?
Yeah, I made you pull it out before.
Yeah, and you know what? That got us both in jail, remember? I think this is it here.
Hello, I'm Dr. Pachenik. Today I want to talk to you about how false heroes are created in the name of honor and grandeur for our country. In particular, I'm talking about John McCain, who's unfortunately dying, but he had a history which really put a black mark on him in our American experience of Vietnam. And let me tell you what I think. I've never liked John McCain. I knew a lot about his history. I knew that he was a spoiled, entitled brat at Annapolis. His father was head of CINCPAC. His grandfather was a famous admiral. In turn, he was one of the lowest men in the class of 899 people at Annapolis. He should have been thrown out, but his father kept him in. His flying experience was erratic and dangerous. He crashed several planes and then crashed on the USS Forrestal, killing several Americans. What he is known for, though, is for having been shot down in a 29th bombing mission over Vietnam. He claims he was tortured and has fractured his hands and his face. That's not correct. He destroyed his arms and his face on the ejection. However, what happened as a POW is the case in point. I know several of the POWs who were in the Hanoi Hilton with him, and they found him despicable. They found him to be a coward, a traitor, and the fact that he refused to be released because because it was considered bravery was nonsense. The reason he could not leave the prison in Vietnam was the simple fact that he would defy military order and would have been arrested for what he had done as a criminal, as a POW. In fact, the remaining part of his life is quite despicable and disgraceful. He was involved in the SNL scandals and Keating. He was corrupt, and he never had to go to prison for that.
I wish Steve Pieczenik would, stop holding back. He's just not going at it enough. There's another 3 minutes. You want to do the whole thing? It's fine with me. It's an evergreen. It is a history lesson about this Jamoke.
I think it's something that especially our new Roganites need to listen to.
Then subsequently, he closed all of the POW records so nobody would know what kind of a treasonous individual he was. And then, very much like any sociopath, he decided that the best things to do for America is to go to war. Any war and all wars. So he invited the Iraq War, the war in Syria, the war in Libya, the war in Somalia, Sudan, and everywhere else. In fact, he killed more Americans than any other president I would have known of, even more than George W. Bush. Now, who testified for his veracity and the fact that he is going to be a new hero? The man who testified on his behalf is none other than another coward and treasonous military officer other than David Petraeus. Let me tell you about General David Petraeus, a man who lived right next to West Point, married the commandant's daughter. He was a very ambitious little man, received all kinds of accolades as a very smart individual, went to Princeton and forced his supervisor to give him a PhD in less than a year and a half. But what was it that made David Petraeus great? It was David Petraeus. He never really had been in combat, and in fact awarded himself some combat medals, which a lot of military officers said, we don't understand how we received it. More importantly, David Petraeus was caught for a major felony and a criminal act, passing over 5 notebooks with top secret information to a woman whom he seduced while he was director of the CIA. Normally he would have been in prison for that for 10 to 15 years, but he got a little slap on his hand. So it's not an accident that David Petraeus agrees that John McCain, another coward and traitor, is a great man. Then the third man we're talking about is Bob Kerrey. Most of you don't know very much about him. He's a Democrat. He was a pharmacy student and came out of Nebraska. He did join the SEALs. He did go into Vietnam, and he was injured in Vietnam and received the Congressional Medal of Honor. He knew he should not have received the Congressional Medal of Honor because, unfortunately, his foot was shot off, and he knew it was just an accident in war. He hadn't done anything that was particularly heroic. He said it to his present days. He said, I don't deserve it. At the same time, he received the Bronze Star for having killed 22 innocent men, women, and children. So what's the moral of the story? John McCain doesn't ride any higher than Trump, who refused to serve in our Vietnam War. But those who accuse themselves of treachery. In French, we say, qui s'excuse s'accuse. And let me repeat one thing Ralph Waldo Emerson said, a brave man is an ordinary man who's only brave for 5 minutes more. Thank you, good night, and good luck.
And he'll be about 155 pounds and 5'6". I'm going to come back to the Atlantic with a clip. I want to jump into this as he was talking about Petraeus. There is another former general doing on the scene with some shenanigans, and that is our old buddy McChrystal. And McChrystal's story was written, I think it was part of it or most was written up in the Washington Post. Our gal Lara Logan, who's on the Fox Nation app, she had something to say about that.
Technology that was once used to combat ISIS propaganda is being employed by a Democratic Political Action Committee, a super PAC, basically to counteract Trump's messaging on the coronavirus and his handling of the coronavirus. And this super PAC has enlisted the assistance of General Stanley McChrystal, who many of your viewers will recognize his name. And he has openly stated in this article, there's a whole piece about it, the Washington Post has no problem with this, that they're taking a weapon of war that was designed to counter ISIS and Al-Qaeda, in other words, U.S. enemies, and they're using it against the U.S., against American citizens in this country. And they say in their own words, it's to combat online efforts to promote President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. So if you've got a Republican governor in Florida who's succeeding, that's not a message they want to hear. You want to know how they'll combat it? Well, I'll tell you what. They're going to use artificial intelligence and network analysis to map a discussion of the president's claims on social media, and then seek to intervene by identifying the most popular counter-narratives and boosting them through a network of more than 3.4 million social influencers across the country. And some of those people will be paid by them.
Woot woot! Sounds like Russian election interference to me.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting, isn't it?
She's got a bug up her ass.
Who?
She really...
Laura Logan?
Yeah, she really goes after these things.
Yeah, she doesn't
mainly
like that.
because she's been sidecarred. She's been sidelined.
No, I think she's been sidecarred, and it's a cool move.
But she's been sidelined to an extreme, and I think it really bugs her. And she's feisty.
She's feisty. She's feisty.
Yeah, she is. She's like
yes,
that ex-CBS woman who's got
Cheryl
Atkinson.
So, we're going to go back to 2017. Remember, The Atlantic is a magazine that was in trouble. There was some Silicon Valley bro who bought it, I think, and then he had to get rid of it because basically the whole staff was like revolted, we're going to leave. This is a clip from 2017. 3 chairs, 3 chicks. What you will not see but will hear is Kara Swisher, Kamala Harris, and fresh at that time, new owner of Atlantic, Laureen Powell Jobs, widow of Steve Jobs.
And we could do this work forever and ever, and we could have the narrative overtaken by someone who has a lot of power, who's completely contrary to us, and we could never get to the place where we think we're part of a more just and equal society. And so it was obvious that if we could be part of the creation of cultural narrative, that would enhance and amplify all the work that we're doing.
Which is Hillary Clinton talked about today, is telling the story, getting the content out there.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are early days for us, but that's the idea behind it. We want to inspire the kind of stories that we'd like to see told.
Do you ever see you buying something bigger, like the New York Times, for example?
Is it for sale?
It could be for you.
Yeah,
she
that was a good clip. I've seen that.
She says it right there. And Kamala Harris is sitting right there next to her.
Yep.
Open your eyes, people. Open your eyes. No, that's not what I wanted. Shoot, I hate it when I do that. Let me try that again.
You do it a lot.
I'll edit it out.
It's so funny.
No one will know when I edit it together. It'll be like, open your eyes. Shh, quiet, you're ruining my edit. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Open your. Nah, fuck it.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda. In the morning.
And we have a few people to thank for show 1276, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
If my count is correct.
Correct, sir.
Let me I need the right pair of glasses. I have to wear multiple pairs of glasses now.
Really? And this is since your bionic eye upgrade?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Typical.
Yeah. It'll be in the book. John Griner's on the top of the list from Hendersonville, Tennessee, $153.30. And he says that this reflects the JRE episode 1533.
Yes, that was the number. It was a magic number.
Adam, without question, facilitated immediate and eventual shrinkage of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of amygdalas.
Whoa, the doctor is in.
You did the work. Brendan Takesh is next at $136.87 from Chicago, Illinois. Did you know that Applesbee's, he writes, I don't want to read all these notes, I'm going to read this one, is using the No Agenda Meetup song in one of their commercials?
Yes, yeah, they stole it from us. It's the theme from Cheers.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Actually, that's not true. They have Welcome Back Cotter. They're doing Welcome Back. I think that's Applebee's. So that's even more wrong. Interesting.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Sir Borislav Duke Borislav Marinov in Trabuco Canyon, California. Comes in with 127. You need some jobs and health karma. We put that at the end.
He said huge health karma. This is this is a Duke. We stop right away for these requests. Huge health karma.
You've got karma.
And jobs karma come up, but the health karma, we go right away.
Patty Walsh in Topfield, Massachusetts. That's $109.15. She wrote a card. She sent a check and wrote a card. It's a very nice card. I'm going to read it. This is a donation to No Agenda in honor of my son, Michael Walsh from Utah, who turned me on to No Agenda. My husband and I listen to all your podcasts now. Thank you for keeping us informed. The amount is reflective of 9/15, Michael's birthday. Oh, okay. I knew there was one more birthday you had to put on the list.
Okay, so give me the deets.
Just Michael, 9/15. Happy birthday from Patty, his mom.
Okay.
We also bought him a No Agenda hat. And then she draws a smiley face that I am sure he will wear proudly. Peace.
Oh.
There you go. Michael. Good, he's on the list. I knew there was one more.
Yeah, he's on the list now, right under the radar.
I'm trying to get these out of the way before the pre-show. This is why we missed the Zephyr. Sir Bob Van Dyke in Netherlands, $100.
Thanks,
Sir
Rob.
Richard Hufford in Tempe, Arizona. Thanks for doing the work. 99.33. Sir Patrick Coble, the Duke of the South, 93.56. Happy birthday to Adam.
Thank you.
Sir Steve McConnell in Cortland, Ohio, 93. Thomas Wilkinson in Ottawa, Ontario, 90.11. John Cruz, 77.70 from West Wenatchee, Washington. He likes the meetups. Baron Mark Tanner in Whittier, California, twice a month, 76.54. Edward Herrera in Austin, Texas, 69.33. He's got a birthday coming up, and we'll give you some birthday karma at the end. Craig Knowsley in Cumberland, BC, 66. Christopher Rutger. Happy birthday to her daughter. Our daughter, he writes, Georgia. She's on the list. Moose, 6006. Thomas Getz, Dortmund, Deutschland, 5678. And Baron Loudpipes in Charlotte, North Carolina, 5678. That's nice. Hugo Salgado, and that's 5678. I think it refers to Adam's birthday. Hugo Salgado, 5656. Happy birthday, Adam. Sir Peter Chong, Lakewood, Washington, 56. Sir Pat Deary, Baron of Lambton County, 56. These are happy birthday donations for Adam. Mike Tallroth in Appleton, Wisconsin, another 56. He's got some long spiel here about straight from the shoulder. You might want to look it over, see if there's anything we need to repeat.
Okay.
Daniel J. Galloway, 56 from Marietta, Georgia. And that's the end of the well-wishers. Per Ive Ingvarsson in Sweden. 5555.
He says synchronicity.
Synchronicity. Sir Luke of the Baron of London in London, UK, 5533. Sir
he says that he says hold on. Sir Luke says thanks for last week's karma for my cycle event. It worked. Just wanted to say it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
He says the Mets police cycle team took no notice.
No.
Sir Psycho Maiko of the Potomac in Hancock, Maryland, 5510. Got a birthday. You got him on the list. Sir
Joshua.
Tom Dari in DeForest, Wisconsin, 5510. Tim Hessel in Hanford, California. He says, I thought I'd chip in because I'm getting 25 texts a day from every Republican candidate. I get nothing at none of these things.
No, oh my goodness.
I get no spam.
It's 8 times match now just for me.
8 times match.
Just for me.
Dave, did you know Amy Goodman on Democracy Now! Has 3 times match? What does she need this for?
No.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how dare you use your privilege to assume that I watch Amy Goodman?
I never did that. I just said, did you know?
Oh, I thought you said notice.
I assumed you didn't watch her.
I thought you said, did you notice? Okay.
Then I should condemn me for that.
I'm condemning you.
JB, meanwhile, 5123 from Mishawaka, Indiana. Got some baby-making karma coming your way. Sir Bam Bam of the flight test, 5033, and the following people are $50 donors, name and location, starting with Caitlin Kirchner in Atlanta with a birthday for Charlie. Joel DeRuin in Bakersfield. Nicholas Bobo in Portland, Oregon. He's got a douchebag call out for somebody.
Well, first he wants a de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
Here we go. I was first hit in the mouth by my longtime friend Justin, who I would like to call out as a douchebag. Douchebag. Done. Thank you.
You got a boots on the report, on the ground report from Portland. I'm going to put it aside and read it when we talk about Portland, which will be next show. Matthias Milchinsky.
I think Matthias Milchinsky.
It could be Matthias, but it could be Matthias.
Spy.
Anyways, in Stevenson Ranch, California, he knows who he is. Mm-hmm. David Pennybacker in Monroe, Louisiana. Jonathan Meyer.
Hold on. Pennybaker in Monroe. I did get your email. It's his first donation ever.
You've been de-douched.
Gotta give it to him.
Jonathan Meyer in Xenia, Ohio. Agent 99 in Atlanta, Georgia. We got a lot of 50s today. We had almost none last show.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Just started listening over the summer. He's got a birthday for someone. We got.
Well, listen to this.
He's sending. It's got to be a she. Agent 99 was a girl.
Sending in this first-time donation for a birthday shout-out to the smoking hot Agent 11, sexy beast of the Pacific Northwest, for a special birthday on September 11th. Please de-douche him and give him a giant heaping serving of goat karma. Well, we will do the de-douching, and
You've been de-douched.
We'll wrap it up in the goat karma at the end.
Sir Hamus of the Piedmont Province in Mooresville, North Carolina. Stephen Shoemaker, but it says Shoemaker.
I think Shoemaker. Mm-hmm.
In Xenia, another guy in Xenia. Hey, you guys in Xenia should get together. James Darter in Oklahoma City. Michael Hayner in Paris, California. Sarah Karstrand in Chicago. Christopher Rivera in Austin. Robert Decanay in Fairfax. He's a sir. Jesse Hall in Friendswood, Texas. Drew Mochak in Mountain View. Edward Mazurek in Memphis. Sir Jason DeLuzio in Chatsford, Pennsylvania. Jeffrey Zinneman in North Euclid, Ohio. And Dame Knight came in from Edmonds, Washington with a cute little note with a heart. I want to thank all these folks for making show 1276 possible by producing it.
And just want to return back to Caitlin Kirchner because she does have her Charlie on the list, but she added, "The love of my life, you are the most incredible man I know. Love, the wife." So I thought we need to read that out. Thank y'all for your support and for producing this episode. You are producing it. You realize that the literal definition of producing a show is the financing, is getting the material together, choosing the best hosts for the job, and getting the thing out the door. So collectively, we do make that happen. Highly appreciated. Also, those who came in under $50, typically on some of our sustaining donations, they're like a subscription. We've got a whole bunch, and you can take a look at those actually if you go to
Dvorak.org/NA.
So, a couple karmas, and this one, of course, by request, as it's coming up again.
WTC7 won't go away.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Quite the list we have. We start off with DC Girls saying happy birthday to Jeremiah. Edward Herrera celebrated yesterday on the 9th, as did Tiffany Dame, who gets the congratulations and happy birthday from Vince. Sir Marty Williamson, happy birthday to his daughter Rachel. She celebrates today. Sir Vladimir Klega, 55. Agent 99, happy birthday to the sexy beast of the Pacific Northwest, Agent 11 for September 11th. Sir Psycho Maiko, happy birthday to his son Joshua Reed, 13 on the 11th. Kevin R., 34 on September 11th. Christopher Rutger, happy birthday to his daughter Georgia, also born on the 11th. Caitlin Kirchner, we got Caitlin Kirchner. Caitlin Kirchner, happy birthday to her husband Charlie. And from Patty to Michael, September 15th is his birthday. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe.
Title changes, turn and face the slaves. Title changes, don't wanna be a douchebag.
No douchebags here, but we've got upgrades. Anonymous Knight in Michigan becomes the Baron of the Great Lakes watershed, and Sir Finch becomes Baron Finch. Thank you both for your additional contribution in the amount of $1,000 at minimum to bring you up to this next status in your title changes. Thank you all for doing the work and for supporting the best podcast in the universe. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knightings. This is fantastic. So we need some real bladage. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you. All right, Drew Sample, Pedro Concalves, Derek Hughes, Brian Boatwright, and Jake Scott. Step on up. All of you are about to become Knights of the Know Agenda Round Table, thanks to your contribution of $1,000. And I'm very proud to pronounce the KC, Sir Bubba Hotep, protector of all Hoteps, Hood Billies, and urban farmers. Sir Bitcoin, Sir Deeds of the Fox Valley, Sir Brian of Mark Makerville, and Sir Jake Scott. For you, gentlemen, we have Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. We also have, what the hell do they want here? Oh, I see what you got. Microgreens and grass-fed beef, keto snacks, and of course we've got mutton and meat. It's so easy. Everybody wants some, so just have it now. And when you're done with the mutton meat, just leave the chairs over there. Go over to noagendanation.com/rings. Give Eric Schill your details, including your ring size. He has a whole way to help you figure that out. And we'll get those out to you as soon as possible. And again, thank you for supporting the best podcast in the universe, the No Agenda Show. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. No Agenda. It's not just like a party. These things are real parties, and we have a number of them happening and taking place. On Friday, September 11th, Christian Coffin's 9/11 birthday in Castleberry, Florida. Then we have Saturday, September 12th. This is updated. The Seattle No Agenda 9/11 meetup on 9/12. Also on Saturday, Niagara Falls. That'll be at 2 o'clock. Midland, Texas, 2 o'clock on Saturday the 12th. Thousand Oaks, Agora Hills, 3:33 p.m. Saturday at the Borderline Dance Hall and Saloon. Suisun City, California. Suisun, I can never get it right. 5 p.m. on Suisun on Saturday at Suisun City in Solano County. Meet at the True Symmetry Brewing. Saturday, Columbus, Grove City, Ohio. Meet up at 6 o'clock at the Three Brothers Restaurant. And on the way in September on the 18th, we've got Amsterdam. We have Missoula, Montana on the 19th, Springfield, Missouri, the 25th, Kansas City meetup, the 26th, Monroe, Washington, Long Beach, California, Local 404 in Georgia, the 29th, the Back Office Listening Tour hits Fort Collins. By the way, the 18th is also an Eric the Shill and family appearance. That will be the third stop of their listening tour in Missoula, Montana. In October, we've got St. Pete Beach on the 7th, along with Provo, Utah. Again, the Shill and family over there. And we have a meetup report from the Eindhoven meetup in the Netherlands. Quite successful, a very good-looking group, and this audio.
What's up, Gitmo Nation? This is Sir Tim Gaudiaan, Knight of the Website Department, coming to you from the No Agenda meetup in the best city of Gitmo Lowlands, Eindhoven.
So, Tim, I just want to interrupt, made our new website. The whole website, the noagendashow.com, noagendashow.net is by this man.
Hello in the morning, sales guy Joop, and I think my dog is a Democrat.
Hey, Joop.
This is JP from Eindhoven. I love you, John and Adam.
In the morning, everyone. My name is Sander, and I'm from Zoetermeer, Sweet Lake. One thing, come on, man, vote for Donald Trump.
These guys are the best. I love it when they give us a meetup report that sounds exactly like the Dutch are supposed to. And I give for that you a toeter. There you go.
So is Eindhoven the best city in the Netherlands?
How can I be someone to argue that after you just heard that report? Obviously it is. Go to noagendameetups.com.
Sometimes you wanna go hang out with all the nights and days. You wanna be where you won't be triggered or held lame. You wanna be where everybody feels the same.
It's like a party.
It's like a party.
I just have a quickie thing to take care of because all this has been sitting on the bench
Is your
here.
material funny? Because I have 2 reports I'd like to get out of the way, the fire reports.
Well, it's not funny. It's something that I want to just do this one, and then you can do whatever you want.
Oh. Okay.
This is news people can use.
Oh, everything that we do is news people can use.
So we have an antitrust investigation going on. It was already announced. The main crux of it is Section 230, which is the entire problem we see with social networks, but even arguably with Google. I believe Google is now the first one they're going after. It's coming up quick. It should be the end of September when they expect to be in court. And everyone in Silicon Valley is scrambling. The main thing is they all want to make sure that they can never, ever be seen as manipulating the election. So this is what Google is doing, is what Facebook is doing, is what Twitter is doing. I have confirmation from multiple people this is true. The amount varies, but I've seen mainly $1,000 if you do the following.
Facebook has announced that as part of a research initiative, it will pay its users on both Facebook and Instagram to deactivate their accounts ahead of the 2020 U.S. presidential elections. The social media giant is looking to better understand its influence on key political attitudes and behaviors. While Facebook is not paying the researchers behind the study, anyone who chooses to opt in by completing surveys or deactivating their accounts will be compensated. According to Washington Post journalist Elizabeth Dwoskin, some Facebook users were sent notifications asking how much they would want to deactivate their accounts, giving them options of $10, $15, or $20 per week. They expect between 200,000 to 400,000 participants. The company's transparency team says Facebook will not restrict researchers' questions or what they publish, and will publish the study's initial hypothesis once the findings are public for checks and balance purposes. But past reluctance to release data has some researchers skeptical, saying they'll believe it when they see it.
And that is the best report I could find, believe it or not. So I think what they're trying to do is say, okay, these people voted like this when they weren't posting and had no access to Facebook or to Instagram. I don't know exactly, but to say that Facebook is not going to meddle in the election, listen to this 1 minute with Axios, where he's explaining what great heroic things they will be doing to, I guess, save the country.
One of the things that I think we and other media need to start doing is preparing the American people that there's nothing illegitimate about this election taking additional days or even weeks to make sure that all the votes are counted. In fact, that might be important to make sure that this is a legitimate and fair election. So we're going to do a bunch of different messaging around that just to make sure that people know that that's normal. So if one of the candidates in any of the races claims victory before there's a consensus result, then we're going to add some informational context to that post directly saying that there's no consensus result yet. I think that this is important because there is, unfortunately, I think, a heightened risk of civil unrest in the period, between voting and a result being called or after that. And I just think that we need to be doing everything that we can to reduce the chances of violence or civil unrest in the wake of this election.
This is gross. That's just gross. Prepare you, because it could take weeks. Your thoughts, Mr. Dvorak?
I do not have an account with Facebook. I never have had one. I think it was just a negative sinkhole, it seemed to me. I never wanted to join it. I didn't join any social media. I finally ended up giving in. I got a Twitter account, and a LinkedIn account.
Enough about your social life that is lacking. What do you think of what Facebag is doing?
I think they're arrogant. I think this is idiotic. They think that they own the world or something. I don't know. It's crazy. It sounds like I think it's pretentious. Right. It's patronizing. It's demeaning. I could just keep dropping adjectives out there.
No, you nailed it. You nailed it. They think they own the world. That's exactly right. That's exactly what that sounds like. Yeah. And the Axios guy is all jitty. All wappy about
Axios. Johnny completely wannabe.
Yeah. All right, John, do your funny thing now, because we
I got no funny things, but I just wanted to keep people up. We can do a wraparound here. We got a wraparound going on. We got one of those things where you had the beginning. It's like talk back to the fires. That's how I started the show. And so I want to play two clips, and one of them includes a possible ISO.
Okay.
And so let's start with France 24. Why do the locals? Let's go to France and see what they think of the California fires and go with California Doomsday.
Ooh.
A thick orange haze hangs over swathes of California as a series of wildfires in the state continue to spread. A record heat wave and high wind... excuse me. A record heat wave and high winds continue to...
Was that part of the gag? Because that's kind of fun.
No. I was thinking of even maybe running it a few times.
Yeah,
excuse me. A record heat wave and high winds continue to exacerbate the situation, with thousands of people in communities near the city of Oroville the latest to be ordered to evacuate. The fires have so far ravaged around 1 million hectares in California alone, but Oregon and Washington are also bearing the brunt. Claire Rush reports.
Apocalyptic scenes in the San Francisco Bay Area. On Wednesday, residents woke up to an eerie orange glow. The sky so filled with smoke, it blocked all sunlight in the middle of the day.
I was wondering what time it was, and then I looked outside and it looked like doomsday.
Orange! It's the color. It's the color. By the way, I love the French accent. That's France 24, huh? That sounds pretty British to me, man. Okay.
Well, what are you going to do? So they go on with the second half of the report. This is the Oregon-Washington Fire Report, F24. But see if you can catch the interesting little phrasing in here that is like a real, if you know anything about words, you'll get a kick out of it.
Oregon has experienced unprecedented fire with significant damage and devastating consequences across the entire state. This could be the greatest loss of human lives and property due to wildfire in our state's history.
Similar scenes of devastation in Washington. In the small town of Malden, authorities estimate that 80% of structures have been decimated, including City Hall and the post office.
Are you talking about the decimated? It's got to be one of the No Agenda favorites.
Yes, and this is the ISO from it, up at the top, 8010.
Okay.
80% of structures have been decimated.
No, I think we have...
I mean, for real, not a joke.
Let's face it, Joe shot.
Come on, that
is better, but I just had this one aside because it seems to me that, I mean, anyone who knows what we talk about this on this show, decimated means a loss of 10%.
Yes.
It's a term that Romans used to say, we decimated their army. They killed 10% of the army. Yeah. So this means if you go 80% has been decimated, that means 8% of the, or 8% of the, in other words, 10% of the 80 is 8%. So this should be fine there.
The gay men were decimated by 10% in the theater performance. See, back in the day, that was just happy guys, 10% got cut. Everything's changed. Words change. Meanings of words change. So I think that decimated has now changed to it's just 10% left. That's just how everyone understands it.
Well, they don't understand right.
Shall we give up on it, or are we going to continue to...
No, I think this is a good point. If you look in the dictionary, it's very clear what it means.
It'll change. I'm putting that in the book. That's going to change.
Oh, well, it will eventually because people keep misusing the word.
2021.
But I want to... I don't have anything that's humorous to end the show with. No. I do want to tease. We're going to talk about Brexit a little bit on Sunday, because that's... getting funnier.
It is getting funny. I know. It's going to be great.
And we don't know what to do with it. There's some other stuff that we need to carry over. We'll have a great show on Sunday.
Looking forward to meeting everybody there. Please make sure you join us. And if you'd like to, if you got any value from this program, send us some value back. You can also do that in digits by going to Dvorak.org/NA. Coming up, after this program on NoAgendaStream.com, we have the 2030 podcast with Sergeant Fred. That's a blast from the past. And end of show, we've got mixes from WTF Bra, from Rexo and Quoza, and of course Jesse Coy Nelson, coming to you from the capital of the Drone Star State here, Opportunity Zone 33, Austin, Texas, FEMA Region number 6 in the governmental maps. In the morning, everybody, I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where still the sun hasn't got enough oomph to push through the mess in the sky, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Sunday. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. Until then, adios, mofos, and such.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage. In the morning, Quozo hit me in the mouth a couple times, but I ignored him. Then, for whatever reason, Adam goes on JRE, and I've been hooked on No Agenda ever since it's so informing. My amygdala's been shrinking. I've been thinking I'm absorbing so much misinformation from all the BS they reported. M5M is so distorted. CCP supported. I'm so close to going OTG. Our thoughts being recorded.
It's so annoying that before I just avoided, pray to God nothing happened. It was actually important. And then some time ago I found No Agenda Nation, thinking this is so amazing. It's cured my complacence, knowing someone feels the same as me. This media is so shameless. Hold up, they got me up, sign me up. I'm invading this space where I can think freely and don't need to be adjacent to a political party, and I don't need to explain it. No Agenda meetups. It's like a body.
In the morning, all the ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, sun's in the water, all of the days and the nights out there. Our formula is this: we go out, we hit people in the mouth. Success is limited, but that's how we teaching the people how to think for themselves in a world of mind control slaves. It's such an uphill battle, it's getting harder each day. I wear this 1911 right on my hip, and I pray that I don't have to use it, but I will if it goes that way. We in a nation of noodles, the un-United States, land of the free, where they forcing you to hide your face.
Telling me my fragility's exactly what is killing me. Oh, silly me, I should've checked my energy at the door with my coat, but nope, instead I'm in these easy swear, and I might vote for John, Adam, and Mo. I say it again, what do you have to lose? I don't want world dominance, a global governance, or a whole lot of promises we know you can't be honest with, and tell me it's just politics. Man, I'm so off of being governed by incompetence.
What happened to the common sense?
Shut up, slave.
In this PC culture, common sense cannot exist. I've forgotten it's become a superpower, synonymous with consciousness, and no one mentions what the real problem is. You fake woke folks ain't really woke, you sleepwalking. The leader they chose in a basement, sleep talking, while the pandemic causes irreversible damage as the shepherds pull the strings to keep the sheep locked in.
You say shepherd, I'm saying Illuminati, boule full throttle, but so am I. They had to pop me to stop me in this mixture of dragon energy and coffee, even if they off me. That's the point in A's apostia. Free thinking people that believe in reason. See, there's a fine line between freedom and just being heathens. Is this the Wild West or the final frontier? Super Predator podcast, they probably guns here. See, I'm becoming more pop than Hove, cause I find myself wondering what would Malcolm tell Joe, wondering when the renegades started shilling for the system. When was it M&J started hitting for the Clintons? Guess they always been porn since chess was a game, trying to wash away them wrongs with the checks that they made. Paychecks to sell out, who cares? It invests just the same, so it's back to John, Adam, and Mo. Take the stress out my brain. Dr. Billy, you gon' have to kill me before you make a Billy. This one goes out to our brothers and sisters stuck down in the state of Victoria.
Generally speaking, the level of compliance has been very good. The vast majority of Victorians are doing what we want them to do, but there is a small minority who continue to disregard the Chief Health Officer directions, so we're obviously we're targeting those people.
Hear them lock down local businesses on the daily news. Can't even go to my local pub to drink some icy brews. Take the craps on the left of me. Power tripping zest. Don't like this shit. I'm sick of it, but I can't even protest.
In Melbourne, mounted police had to be called in to help disperse the angry crowds.
Dozens were taken away, each copping hefty $1,600 fines.
Police are bad enough, but they've got the riot squad who just run over people.
Because I'm quarantined, I can go out. Quarantined, I wanna shout. Quarantined, my brain's unscrewed. Quarantined, like a kangaroo.
Think roos are cuddly? Think again. A personal trainer in Melbourne had to have emergency surgery after being brutally mauled by a large male kangaroo and completely missed the threat that was coming her way.
I learned a lot. And I learned that, a lot. Anyway, Bo is associated here. Anyway, the point I want to make is, I learned so much. I learned black, white, all colors, all backgrounds, but I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot, you know. Come on, man. You know the thing, you know what I mean? You know the thing, you know what I mean? Come on, man. What I have to do is I have to continue talking about the things. Come on, man. I came down here because I remember the first bumper sticker I saw. I learned that I got hairy legs that turned blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight and then watch the hair come back up again. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. I love kids jumping on my lap. Oh, I'm in trouble. What are we, nuts? Dead. You know, come on, man. Give me a little break here. Get a life. Taking cocaine or not? What do you think? Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds, but I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot, you know. Come on, man. You know the thing, you know what I mean? You know the thing, you know what I mean? Come on, man. You have a problem figuring out what you're from me or from, and you ain't black. Come on, man. The Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. I can hardly wait to meet with that guy who is the stable genius. Come on, man. I am very willing to let the public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness. Come on, man. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids. Come on, man. I mean, come on. Take a look at the record. I know a lot of weed smokers. Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds, but I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay, straight, everyone deserves a shot, you know. Come on, man. You know the thing, you know what I mean? You know the thing, you know what I mean? Come on, man. Why the hell would I take a test? I am, come on, man. What the fuck, bro?
The best podcast in the universe.
Mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
I mean, for real, not a joke.
Let's face it, Joe shot.
You are listening to the No Agenda stream, where freedom lives and censorship comes to get its ass kicked.
The No Agenda Show with Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak, live every Sunday and Thursday, 12 p.m., 11 Central. On NoAgendaStream.com.
Welcome, and this is Fred Castaneda, your podcaster and your host for 2030 Podcast, and that's the show at 2030podcast.com. And today I am joined by my co-host,
always, Matt Cox from the Brunch with the Brits podcast, who reminds you every week now when we get together that Blind Lives Matter.
Not Black Lives Matter, Blind Lives Matter, or in our case, Bear Lives Matter for those who have teddy bears. Now, one of the things that happened is this last week we were pleasantly surprised because the 2030 podcast, episode number 14, the one about bogative numbers, that was on the No Agenda stream. And as you know, No Agenda has tons of people. They have 1,700, maybe up to 2,000 people on their chat, on their that is their chat room. And this was on in the morning between 8:30 and 9 Pacific time earlier this week. And I was just so surprised. I caught the tail end of the last half hour, but we were on there, Matt, and I didn't promote it to those guys. And it could have been Adam Curry, it could have been Darren O'Neill from, the Grumpy Old Bens or Random Thoughts. So whoever it was put us on the No Agenda stream because they thought our content was good. And I think the reason is we're not like some of the other guys that are on the stream that are just getting a little bit carried out of hand. They're just cursing. Every fourth word is the F word. I mean, we're not like that. We're trying to actually deal with things that may happen 2030. So
I want to take a real quick second, and I want to thank all the knights and the dames just for giving us a listen, because this has been a great journey and is continuing to be a great journey for us. So thank you guys for really giving us a listen, and we're doing our best here to predict what we might expect in 2030, as dire as some of the predictions may be.
Now you were saying, Matt, that there was an occurrence this week, right?
So this is when you told me that. I was just going to tell you, I have been really busy with work this week, and as most of you know, I work for Marriott, and this is where I was starting. Is that depending on I think this is a good lead-in, because, and I've said this a couple times now, depending on the part of the country you're in, really depends on how people are taking things, what's going on. For example, here in California, we're still under extreme lockdown, thanks to Governor Newsom, but in North Carolina, you can not only eat in a restaurant, you can walk along the beach unhindered, you don't have to wear a mask, and I think this is a good starting point, because you were just telling me as we were getting started that, new numbers are out from Stanford University. Please, Fred, what's going on here?
Well, as No Agenda pointed out, there was a study in Stanford University, and also from the CDC that said deaths are down to 0. As a matter of fact, there are none. And it's just that the cases are rising, but that's because of testing. But they said that they gave the odds of what it is for you to contract the disease, be sick from the disease, or be deathly ill from the disease, or die from the disease. And it's like 1 in 16 million is your odds of dying of the disease. In other words, there's no danger of getting sick, staying sick, or being deathly ill from the virus. In other words, the pandemic and the hoax is starting to be unraveled.
Yes. And that's good, because, it's nice to see, though, that there are states like, well, I'm using North Carolina because that's the one I did the most business with this week. North Carolina, it seems to be in a good position where they realize what's going on. They're inviting people, please, come to Wilmington, come to Wrightsville Beach, walk along the beach, have your dinner, stay at a hotel, swim in the pool. I mean, it's astounding to me how here in California you got hotel pools closed. North Carolina, once again, you got people swimming, which is great.
Right. And I've been to North Carolina, as you know. I was stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, for several years, and I have been to Wilmington. I have been to the coast there, and it's a beautiful area. And the shame is on the lockdown. One of the other things that happened during the lockdown that I want to mention is what's going to happen in 2030. How the media spins everything their way, and then every now and then they get caught and they don't want to talk about it. As you know, earlier this week, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, got caught when she went to her hairdresser to get her hair done. And she got caught on video, especially because the lockdown says nobody should go to do this. The salons were completely closed and locked down, but she got caught. And of course, all she said was that she was angry that she was set up. And if she was set up, good, because they caught her at a situation where the rules don't apply to her. Obviously, she knows that this is all a hoax anyway, but she got caught. Now, what is strange about this is, Matt, guess what happened the very next day after she got caught, and it was publicized on Fox News, and it was on YouTube and everything else. Well, all of a sudden now, Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles, and probably Newsom, said, okay, guess what we're doing? We're opening up the salons. You had to do that. Why? Because Pelosi, and by the way, I don't know if this is true or not, but my wife told me that Pelosi is related to Newsom in some way, maybe a relative, distant cousin, by marriage, in-law. I don't know.
Here's how that works, Fred. Pelosi is she is the main congresswoman for San Francisco. I don't know if they're related, but I know Gavin Newsom, before he was the governor, was the mayor of San Francisco.
Yeah, so he and Feinstein and Pelosi all have a little circle jerk club.
Yes.
Anyway, do you know that as soon as she got caught, the next day it had to be that all salons are going to be open so that she won't have so much mud in her face of disobeying the rules, forcing everybody else to be locked down and her disobeying the rules, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I have a small confession to make to the listeners, and that is, secretly, I've been going to get my hair cut too, but I'm not Nancy Pelosi, and there's certainly been the way my barber's been doing it is he sends a text and asks if you're coming. You tell him yes, because remember now, Blind Lives Matter. Maria pulls around the back of the parking lot. He's got his break room open, and that's how we're getting into the shop to get it done.
Well, anyway, that's something that you're going to see, I think, in 2030. More crap like that, where the violators of laws, the violators of these pandemics, the violators to force people to do things, avoiding their constitutional rights, are somehow not going to apply to the Democrats because they're the ones getting away from it.
Absolutely.
And could be all politicians, but in this case, we happen to see it done to the Democrats in this election year.
Absolutely. And you're going to see it happen more with, because I'm sure it makes me really wonder, how often is AOC getting her hair done? How often is, well, I'll tell you, Laura Kelly was the first to do this, and she's Democratic governor of Kansas that I know of. She went in, she got a haircut. The Republican-led assembly in Kansas just let her have it. And then she tried saying to get out of it. Now, she didn't open salons, but she tried saying, well, it's a good thing my husband is a hairdresser. Her husband is not a hairdresser that I know of.
Well, anyway, those are some of the things. But in the year 2030, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of what's going on here. As you know, there are riots and there is violence. There's burning of cities and small businesses and everything by the Black Lives Matter, Inc. Those are the Marxist groups that are over there promoting this crap, where some of these anarchists are not, they don't even hide the fact. They're on YouTube and they're on Facebook, and you know what they're texting to each other? Hey, where's the bus? We got to get back. Yeah. In other words, they were bussed in, they were, and it's time for them to go and get their money paid from the Soros group and the Bill Gates group and whoever else is promoting the violence and the anarchists. And by the way, the other thing, too, is you'll see that groups like the Democrats are going to be switching sides. What I mean by this is, they were saying that all these protests were peaceful, as you see buildings burning in the background, right? And now Biden has had to come out and basically say this violence has got to stop, and it's all Trump's fault because it's on his watch. Yeah, yep. Right. And Trump, of course, has said we can stop this if the governors of these Democratic states will allow us to come in with the National Guard. We'll stop it right away. But no, they want to keep it going. So we're going to see this in the year 2030, that the M5M, the media, is going to spin things their way, and to the point of telling outright lies. And the changing messages are going to keep on going. When it's convenient for them, they'll change their message, right?
Well, that's been a theme of No Agenda, and that's certainly been a theme of ours, I think, ever since we started this podcast. The changing message of the media as it suits and makes it convenient for them, yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, and the political party that they're supporting in this case happens to be the Democrats.
Right. Yep.
And by the way, did you know that Fauci is now no longer taking a lot of appointments? He loved to be a celebrity. He was on game shows, he was on interviews, he was on all over the place. And guess what? He's been told, and this is the way I take it, he said that he's had a colonoscopy. Was it colonoscopy? No, he had a polyp that was removed. And because of the surgery, he can no longer be talking that much. He can only talk a few minutes, and he's basically told to stay off the road for. And the thing is that I think what happened is the Democratic Party and the others, like Bill Gates and all these other people, saw that he basically has contradicted himself so much that they told him, shut the hell up. In other words, shut up and stay off. So now he's got this as an excuse. And I think you'll see this too, that in the year 2030, the, quote, experts, unquote, are the ones that are going to be saying things, and they're going to be told to shut up from the hires, right?
Exactly. And the experts are always, this is something I've thought about just now. I think you're going to see a constant change in the experts, because the experts are going to be those who, whatever party the M5M is under control of, that's who your experts are going to be. Yep.
Right. And one of the things that I think is going to happen, I don't know if it'll happen during this election span, but here's what the Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to have the media be fact checkers. In other words, do fact checking during the debate. And they even want to stop the debate and say, oh, no, Trump, you can't say that. You actually said that. Guess what? That's dumb and stupid. That's not a debate. That's more of the media controlling the messages.
I want to backtrack here just real quick, Fred, and ask you, because you actually won trophies for real, honest-to-God, good debate, correct, when you were in high school? And yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can't call what this is on
this
TV
is not a debate. Exactly.
Yeah, this is a rodeo. This is a goat rodeo. It's a show. It's nothing more than entertainment. A real debate gives you... first of all, you have to have the theme, the objective, and then you have one side give it, the other side give it as the theme, and then they go into proof points. One side, then the other, and one side, then the other, etc. And then at the end, you weigh the proof points of one side in a summary, the proof points on the other side is a summary, and then the judges determine who won the debate.
Right.
But in this case, no. The media wants to interrupt the quote debate, and I put that in air quotes. They want to interrupt this goat show, this goat rodeo, and they want to then put in the clear message saying we're doing the fact checking and this is wrong, and only to do that is they're going to promote their own narrative, and that I see as something totally wrong. And if I were the Republicans, say no fact checkers. We're going to have the debate, and the only two people we're going to be talking is me and him, and that's it. And that's the way I would do it, because as you know, there was a cartoon on the No Agenda show, and in the newsletter, you know what it had? It had a boxing ring, and in the ring was Trump, and there he was with his trunks and gloves, and he was coming out as a big, heavy hitter. In other words, a heavyweight. And on the other side was Biden, as a wrinkled 80-pound weakling coming in on a walker with a mask and gray hair, and then outside is Nancy Pelosi waving her arms, saying, "Stop the fight, stop the fight," because Pelosi said that there should not be a debate. That why give Trump the credence of a debate? Biden shouldn't debate him. How do you like that?
Gosh!
It's because they know that he's such a wimp and a weakling, and he's withering away with his mind is going, that anybody who sees this quote debate unquote without any help from the media, they're going to see what an asshole he is. They're going to see, and I use that term loosely, but they're going to see what a jerk he is, that he's mentally deficient. This guy is suffering from not Parkinson's, but he's suffering from dementia, and it's going to be very evident that he can't even complete a sentence. As a matter of fact, there was one guy who I saw that is very much similar to the point where Biden is now, and that's Johnny Crawford, the guy who used to play the son of Lucas McCain.
In the Rifleman, correct? Right. Yes.
Now, Johnny Crawford is 74 years old this year, and guess what? Since last year, he admitted he had dementia, and guess what? He can't even finish a sentence now. He just smiled. He just sits around smiling, being thankful for people. They've even had to raise some GoFundMe, crowdfunding, in order to support his dementia treatments. Because I think what happened is, in his later years, he got taken by somebody and lost his fortune. So I equate what's happening to Biden with what's happened to Johnny Crawford. Poor guy Johnny Crawford. I like him as a Mouseketeer and also as the Rifleman.
Sure.
And but I think that's what's happening now. So you're going to see the media trying to meddle in the debates to steer them one way or the other, and I think that's wrong. Hopefully, this won't happen. But I see in the year 2030, the media is going to be fact-checking, interrupting, to quote, the debate. And again, in air quotes, it's not going to be a debate. It's going to be an entertainment show. It's going to be a presentation. And the way the media spins it is going to determine what the outcome is.
And I'm not 100% sure that, because with the Democrats saying, don't debate, I have a very strong feeling that really in reality what the Democrats are trying to do is get, they want Biden in power so that then they can get him out of power so that they can replace him with someone else.
Well, there's the conspiracy theory that we've heard.
Yes.
They said that they want Biden in two ways. Number one conspiracy theory is he gets elected, And then what happens is they take him out as a president because of his mental instability with the 25th Amendment that says he's, he doesn't have the mental capacity. And what they do is then, what's her name? Harris becomes president. And guess who she brings in? Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton is vice president, and then they'll get Harris out. Yep.
Oh yeah. Then the Hag Squad, the Hillary assassination group, is going to take her out, so she's president. That's one conspiracy theory. The other one is that just before the election, Biden is taken out because of his mental incapacity, and then guess who they put in its place? They take out Harris, they take out Biden, and instead they put in
Hillary
with Barack Obama.
Oh, wow.
Vice president. He can't be president, but he's vice president. So now you got the worst of the worst coming back and being there. So those are the two conspiracy theories that are going on, but I think there's a lot of truth to that.
I do too, and I fear that if that happens, Fred, by 2030, a presidential election, I mean, it'll be kind of like an election in Morocco in 1997. The election really didn't mean anything. It was just kind of there. And in reality, the king still controlled everything that was happening.
It's almost like the election that took place in South Vietnam during the war, where they had Thieu and Key as the two presidential candidates. And there was even a cartoon in one of the magazines there. And guess what the cartoon had? It had the incumbent. They had both of them on the starting line in a race, just like the Olympics when they're running the 100-yard dash. And guess instead of the arbiter or the referee holding the gun, guess who was holding the gun? It was the incumbent.
Was it Ho Chi Minh?
No. This was the incumbent Key holding a gun to the head of his adversary, and that's how the race is going to start. And I can see that happening in a way where the media is going to be controlling everything. Now, there were two cases in the past where things like this happened. This is not new. If you remember the Spanish-American War, well, this was 1898. The Maine was blown up in Havana Harbor. That was the battleship Maine. And then the yellow journalism that resulted, especially William Randolph Hearst, took place, and it was we gotta go and have vengeance for taking of American lives and all this. And they had yellow journalism to a point where they just got everybody in the country through newspapers totally incensed, so that you can declare war against Spain. Well, the problem is that Spain didn't want a war. In fact, they even sent telegrams to the United States saying, "Well, look, we'll talk. Well, we don't want war. Let's not fight." And instead, guess what happened? Teddy Roosevelt and people rushed to go into war to supposedly, quote, liberate Cuba, unquote. And what's the first thing that happened? United States warships took Manila and the Philippines.
Yep, absolutely.
So that was the Spanish-American War, where yellow journalism made that happen. The second instance took place around that same time, a year later. Why? Because William Jennings Bryan was running on a populist ticket. He was all for the working man because they were getting exploited by the industrialists, including the big three. Andrew Carnegie and what's his name? The guy from oil.
You had Morgan, Carnegie, and who's the other one? Rockefeller, yeah.
Those three guys were running the country and basically bleeding workers to death. And so you know what they did? The three of them got together, put up $100 million each in their money, and they said, we're going to elect this president. And they took over the media, they took over everything, and of course they just drowned out the noise and produced their own narratives so that their Republican president candidate by the name of McKinley was elected. Mm-hmm. So this kind of stuff has happened in the past, and I see it happening again in 2030. Do you?
Absolutely. Yep, I do.
And is there any way to prevent this? I don't think so.
I don't think so, unfortunately. And I think the reason is it may already be too late,
Well, unless something happens. Right now, I think that the President Trump is trying to put some laws in order that says if you give wrong and wrongful information without doing the fact-checking you're supposed to do ahead of time, not just spurting out what you're doing and basically, giving libel and all sorts of misinformation, then you can be sued. Because they are protected now, or at least before, they're protected from any kind of litigation on this because they're reported as journalists, this is going to be taken away. And when that happens, let me tell you, the media will not want to defend lawsuits coming from thousands of people that are going to be hit with this. In other words, there are going to be thousands of lawsuits for them against libel and defamation and everything else.
Absolutely.
That's the only way I see it could be combated, because you hit them in the pocketbooks and things change. So there is one other thing I wanted to mention at this point. Now, we've been saying we're going to talk about the financial Armageddon, and that's still going to be something in the future because there's just too much of this
There's
happening
too
right
much
now.
good stuff to go over. That's going to be one we may want to do in person.
Well, there is one financial note, and they talked about it in No Agenda today, and I thought it was something well worth bringing up. We talked about a cashless society and the possibility of a cashless society, but the question is, when do we see that happening? Well, I don't see it happening soon, and there was a point that was brought up by John C. Dvorak. He said you can't have the cashless society yet because the people who use cash the most are the biggest problem, and guess who those are?
That would be the homeless people that I see panhandling out in front of the supermarket every Sunday afternoon.
Exactly, and they panhandle for cash. So until you get the homeless problem solved, what are you going to do? Give them each a credit card or a Visa card, or give them a stimulus card where now they can go in and buy stuff with what they got on the card? I don't think that's going to happen because they're homeless and they have no financial resources. Until the homeless problem is solved, then you're still going to need a cash-filled society to help the homeless. So I think that's going to be one of the things. And the year 2030 may get pushed out a bit until the homeless situation is solved. I don't see the homeless situation being solved in 10 years. Do you?
No, the homeless situation, in fact, with the pandemic, I see the homeless situation possibly, even getting worse, and not just, it won't just be mentally ill people anymore either. It's going to be, people that don't want to work, people that are getting, but it's going to be, it could get a lot worse than it is right now.
Right, and as far as the pandemic goes, we talked about this ad nauseum, in the several previous podcast episodes. But for the pandemic now, with the riots that are going on, not just riots in the United States for violence, no. Do you know there are riots going on in Europe, even Australia, everywhere?
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere. Mm-hmm.
Because people are sick and tired of putting on the masks. They see the ridiculousness of this hoax, and they are just tired of getting their rights taken away from them because the state wants to do it. And I think two of the biggest violators are the ones that we happen to know about. Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles, and he's a stooge, and the other stooge is Gavin Newsom, the governor of California.
Absolutely.
So these are stooges of the Democrats that keep it going on and on and on. And like I said, the only reason that the executive orders and the mandates and prohibitions for hair salons was lifted was because Pelosi got caught. That's the only reason. And now she can say, well, I knew about it ahead of time, so I could go. And I think that's the kind of stuff that maybe people are not going to be as, shall we say, the media and other people are not going to see the populace as stupid as they were before. They're stupid if they let themselves be taken and manipulated. But perhaps I see a little bit of resistance, mainly because the mandates went a little too far. And with these new vaccines coming up there's a resistance for vaccines. In the year 2030, we talked about vaccines and how they're going to be mandatory, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Well, guess what? Now everybody's saying we don't want the vaccines to be mandatory. We're not going to be vaccinated by the Gates vaccine because everybody knows now that, or at least the word is getting out, that these vaccines are going to have DNA altering materials in them. They're going to change your DNA, and they want you to take them. And you have to do it by force. Everybody's going to be, shall we say, subject to be mandated to take the vaccine. I know I'm not, and it's going to be something that a lot of people are not. Other people too say, even the ones that say, "Yeah, I'll take the vaccine, but I'm going to wait for a year or two before I do," and by that time you're going to see the competition go up there. Now you got Moderna, which is the Fauci promoted vaccine. It's supposed to be coming out. Pfizer's got a vaccine. And, of course, Russia's now even going to have a vaccine in October. How do you like that?
Wow. Yeah.
And of course, you can't let that happen because Big Pharma needs to make money on the vaccine, right? And I think that if Russia does get a vaccine, guess what? That vaccine is going to upset the Bill Gates card.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
And so perhaps maybe we talked about is it's going to take a little while longer for the vaccinators and the Faucis and the Bill Gates to do their thing. And a lot of people don't want Gates to be coming into their country and vaccinating anybody anymore.
Well, no, because Bill that's part of his population controls, you know?
Right. And there was something that I heard also. There's a podcast that I really, really enjoy, and I was a big supporter of that. It was called Manager Tools and Career Tools. And, Mark Horstman and Mike Ozan were the ones who lead that. Well, I get a newsletter from Mark Horstman. Guess what? He was defending Bill Gates. Says, how can people call this guy all these names and everything? Here he is contributing millions of dollars to try and help people with his, save lives and vaccines. And I'm just going, boy, is this guy who I thought was rather
wow.
he drank the Kool-Aid. He's defending Gates. So, let's put it this way: disillusioned me about his capabilities to understand what the heck's going on. But even smart-ass people like that are getting to be indoctrinated